believe it or not, is 38 degrees, but the wind is very much a factor, gusting up to 35 miles an hour, pretty steady at 22 miles an hour. Good afternoon. I'm Pat Summerall. Unusually warm for this time of the year, of course. My question then to my colleague John Madden is these Los Angeles Rams are almost a 2-touchdown underdog. They travel all the way across the country in these weather conditions. What chance could they hope to have?
Well, you know, if they didn't think they had a chance, if they didn't think they had a strong chance, they wouldn't have traveled all the way across the country, because these guys are confident. This is a confident Ram team, and I think sometimes when people start to analyze teams, they just look at the obvious things, look at the quarterback, and they say, well, Dieter Brock isn't this or that, and they don't look at the more subtle things, and it's the subtle things that got the Rams here. I mean, they're very good on special teams. They have great kickoff return, great punt return teams, and they have an opportunistic defense. They play that zone defense. They get a lot of tip balls, a lot of batted balls, pick up a lot of fumbles, and that's how they win games.
John, in addition to all that they've been saying all week, they told us when we talked to them earlier in the week that what they intend to do against the Bears is run and keep on running. My question to you is, what if they get stopped? Do they still keep on running?
I'm sure they'll keep on running. You know, everyone else, I think, looks at this Bear defense, and they say the 46, and they say they got 8 guys up there, 9 guys. You can't run. So then they get in the game, and they try and run 5, 6, 7 times, and it doesn't work, so they get away from them and say, well, I knew we couldn't run anyway. But the Rams are coming in here, and they're saying that they're going to run Eric Dickerson. They're going to run at that Bear defense 40 times. Now, Eric Dickerson says that, you know, the run will be effective, but it probably won't be effective till the 3rd and 4th quarter. So even if they stop them early, if they stop them the first 10, the first 15, the first 20, the Rams are going to run 40 times today.
The Rams won the toss and took the ball. They'll receive, so we'll see. Ram returns, kickoff returns second in the NFL. Ron Brown, of course, the key to that whole thing. Barry Redden will be back there with him. Jim Tunney, by the way, is the referee. And he is one of the best. Willie Galt, that's a change that the Bears have made. They put him on the kickoff team. Galt now comes up to hold the ball for Kevin Butler as it blew off the tee. 38 degrees the temperature, winds gusting up to 35 miles an hour. Now we'll see as the afternoon progresses what kind of an effect that will have. Butler kicking away from Brown to Redden. Floats down at the 5, and Redden brings it out from there to about the 18. Cliff Thrift down to make the tackle. The offensive backs and receivers for the Los Angeles Rams. Dieter Brock, the quarterback. Eric Dickerson, number 29, behind him. Tony Hunter is the U-back. Henry Ellard and Ron Brown, the wide receivers. Hanky Hill, Tony Slayton, Harris Slater, and David Hill is the tight end. Rams 1st and 10 from their own 17. Henry Ellard right to the right, Brown wide left. Dickerson back to the line of scrimmage and nothing else. Singletary met him right there. No gain.
That was an interesting thing, Pat. They shifted right into it, and Buddy Ryan, the defensive coordinator, and Fensick comes up. He ends up right here. Duerson went back, and they ran right into Fensick. Watch him. He shifted up there. Now watch your run. There's Fensick free. Gary Fensick right there, the safety, right in the hole. Fensick shifted right into the hole the Rams were going to run.
So it'll bring up a 2nd and 10. Rams from their 18. It's Dickerson again, looking for some place and finding a little room. About 5. Mike Richardson made the stop.
Let's see if we can see that shift again. They're doing the same thing. You see, this is Duerson back here. Fensick comes up here, and he's playing a linebacker. This time, they get a pulling guard up here, and he knocks it back. They said, I got a safety playing linebacker. Watch this. Watch Kent Hill when he comes around here. Watch the contact. Oh, right there was a right tackle, Jackie Slater.
Tyrone Keys has replaced William Perry. And Dickerson is hit behind the line of scrimmage by Steve McMichael, and the Rams will have to punt. Much to the delight of the sellout crowd at Soldier Field. This town has gone Bear mad. Dale Hatcher, the rookie from Clemson, goes back to punt. Keith Ortego back deep for the Bears. Line drive kick that Ortego will have some room to work with. Down quickly. The Rams, excellent coverage. Vince Newsom was the first man there. 34-yard punt, 1-yard return. The Bear offensive setup has McMahon at quarterback. Peyton and Suey, Galt and McKinnon wide. Covert, Bortz, Jay Hilgenberg, Thayer, Van Horn, and Emery Moorhead starts at tight end. Bears have the ball. They'll start first and 10, their own 44. They're going into the wind, but it's really hard to say in which direction it blows, because down on the field it really swirls around. McMahon on first down throws up the middle. Moorhead inside the Ram 40 to about the 37. Mel Owens tripped him up after a gain of 19.
I think McMahon throws as well or better into the wind, Pat, than he does with the wind. I think he likes those type of things. First down pass, they expect to run. He gets back, he's looking out there to Galt, comes back off to Moorhead, right in the middle. He picks up the first down.
All the way down to the Ram 41-yard line, 36-yard line make it. Willie Galt split wide to the right. McKinnon moves in motion. McMahon to work again. To Galt. To about the 16. Gary Green after a gain of 20.
Hey, that's what they did last week. That's what they wanted to do again. Get the ball get it to Willie Galt early, and hope he catches it. Because if he gets a ball early and catches a ball early, then he has great confidence. Watch Reggie Doss, 71, come in here and hit McMahon after he throws the ball. Well, that'll clear out those sinuses.
In a hurry. John Robinson, the Ram head coach. First down Bears for the Rams 17. 2 straight passes. Draw play, Peyton fumble. Not sure who got it. Mike Ditka looking on from in front of the Bear bench. Well, that's something you don't see happen very often. Peyton doesn't leave it on the ground much. Covert made the recovery for Chicago.
Well, the Ram defense got some penetration, and they got to Peyton before he got to the line of scrimmage. But that's the type of thing we're talking. These are the types of things that are very subtle that the Rams do well. You know, you get going on them, you're moving, and then someone gets some penetration, makes a play like this. Look how they shut down everything. There's no place for Peyton to go.
Second down and 12. Now from the 19. Tesui. Stopped by Carl Eckern after a gain of about 4. Let's check that Ram defensive lineup. Up front, Doug Reed. DeJournay starts, but they alternate at the nose tackle position. Reggie Doss at right end, the linebackers, and this is a good group. Owens, Eckern, Collins, and Wilcher. And the secondary, Green and Urban, cornerbacks, and Cromwell and Johnny Johnson, the safety men. Peyton and Gentry are now the 2 running backs. Gentry is dangerous, but he stays in the block. McMahon will take it. And takes it in. Touchdown. Touchdown scramble by Jim McMahon. One of the things that the Rams feared most of all. They were hoping to be able to shut him down. They had somebody assigned to mirror him, as they said. But the mirror broke. Butler for the extra point with Fuller holding. And it's 7-0 Bears.
Now, one thing you can't do with Jim McMahon as a quarterback, and the Rams just found it out, He looks downfield for his receivers, and the next thing he looks for is a lane. Now watch Collins here. In his blitz, he is going to come, and he gives a lane for McMahon. McMahon sees it and runs right up there. Watch Collins, number 50, as he blitzes. You see he goes inside. Now watch, the end goes outside. Now, right there, see that big lane? That's all McMahon needs. He sees that lane, then boom, right there, right to the outside and in the end zone. The Rams were conscious of this. He said, we're going to have a guy spying or dogging McMahon all day. At one of the first early plays, they didn't have anyone there. That's McMahon. You don't shake hands as easy. You know, anyone can shake hands. You have to go up there and put some scars on that helmet.
Some
go
dents.
paint to paint, paint to paint. He still has that headband on, I see this week.
But it has a different name on it.
You know, last week they told him he couldn't do it, so he did it. And then, of course, the Bears have been fined for it. And this week he put it on, but he changed the name on it.
I didn't know he had a sporting goods company, did you?
No, but I think that's the answer. I think they got a letter from Commissioner Pete Rozelle, and I think that's McMahon's letter back to him.
Butler's kick will be handled maybe by Redden, and now he lets it bounce out of bounds, and they'll have to do it again. A 16-yard touchdown run by quarterback Jim McMahon as the Bears of Mike Ditka on top 7-0. The scoring drive then, 5 plays, 56 yards. They kept it 3 minutes 11 seconds. They threw it the first 2 times, and then McMahon scrambled in. 19-2 when they score first. That goes back to last year. They've scored first. Now they'll have to kick off again.
You know, it's an interesting thing as we watch Kevin Butler there getting ready to kick off. When he was in college, of course, they used the tee. So after he was drafted, he stopped using the tee, started kicking off the turf, and became very proficient at it in a field goal. And then he had trouble getting back and using the tee again for the kickoffs.
He's changed the height of that tee several times, and now Brown and Redden swap spots. Butler saw it. It's going to go back to Brown if he can handle it, and he handles it 2 yards deep in the end zone. Redden says stay there, and he does. You realize he kicked that ball from the 30? 75 yards he kicked it.
Well, that's a pumped-up kicker. You know, Butler and McMahon are best friends, and I think after McMahon goes out and scores like that, then Butler says, heck, if he's going to do something, I better do something. Then he kicks it out of bounds, and he goes, wow, now I really have to do something. So
if we're going to remain friends.
Yeah, he put the old backside to that one.
As they say, he got all of it. First down, Rams, their own 20. Dickerson moves into the back of the eye. Dieter Brock goes outside, intended for Duckworth behind him. The Bear defense has become very well known, but just in case you don't know them, Hampton, McMichael, Perry, and Dent start up front. The linebackers, and this also is a very good group, Wilson, Singletary in the middle, and Wilbur Marshall. And the secondary, Richardson and Frazier, the corners, and Durson and Finsick, the 2 safety men. Dickerson stands alone behind Dieter Brock. David Hill in motion. Back to Dickerson. Against the grain, and Dickerson gets back to the line of scrimmage and lunges for a yard perhaps. Mike Singletary on the stop.
One of the interesting things the Rams and Dickerson were saying that we probably won't be successful early running, and they're becoming very prophetic because they're not successful early running, but they think if they just keep it going, keep going at them, keep popping away, that they'll wear down this defense. I don't know about that.
I don't either. Dickerson, as you saw, was very successful last week. Third down. Duerson showing blitz. They pick it up. Brock throws for Henry Ellard and throws it low. And again, we'll see Dale Hatcher to punt. Dieter Brock trotting off. Hatcher is number 3. His first effort of the day went 34 yards, and Keith Ortego returned it for 1 yard.
Dale Hatcher, the punter here, was a teammate of William Perry at Clemson.
That one will be handled by Durison right at midfield. And again, the Bears will have a good shot at it. Again, it's very difficult to tell which way the wind is blowing. That would look like it hung up there a long time.
A new company has begun, yet it has a 150-year history. It's only a few days old, but it's already the #1 manufacturer of medium and heavy-duty trucks. Although you've never heard of it, it's in the top quarter of the Fortune 500. The company is Navistar International, and while it's just starting to roll, it's already in high gear. Introducing Navistar, the rebirth of International Harvester.
No matter what you do in life, Dean Witter will help you plan your investments based on your individual needs.
Everybody is somebody at Dean Witter.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
Have you looked at Allstate homeowners rates lately? Wow! They're low. You may be surprised how low they are.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
You know, I don't like being disappointed. Why, one time we lost a big game and I felt so bad, I sawed my car in half. That's why they call me Hacksaw. But now I take it easy and I drink light beer from Miller. Light has 1/3 less calories than the regular beer, and it's less filling. And the taste never lets me down. Hey, how about another light beer?
Sorry, Hacksaw, we just ran out.
Boy, that's very disappointing.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Looking down at Soldier Field, of course it's sold out. But what you can't believe, I'm sure, is the temperature right by the shore of Lake Michigan is 38 degrees. It's supposed to go down as the afternoon goes by. But right now, other than the wind, it's almost unbelievable. 7-0 Bears. They have the ball first and 10 at the Ram 49. Jim McMahon.
I think in today's football, well, in any football, I think if I could pick a guy to quarterback my team, I kind of like this guy. He can do the things, handoff, run, ball plays, all that stuff. But he's a tough guy. He has a lot of charisma. He leads this thing. He'll do the different thing.
I think his day is about 28 hours long. First down from the 49. And back he goes again. Screen pass set up very well to Peyton as he steps out. Peyton to the 30. Gary Green finally stopped him, but Peyton did that little jig step that's become so familiar and broke out of the pack.
And I'll tell you who made the block. Jay Hilgenberg, the center, gets out there. Watch 63. He's going to block. Now run right down the line, and he's going to see someone reads it. I got to pick him off. Now watch 63. Boom! Picks him off right there. Now that frees Peyton. Now Peyton can put that ball out there and do that step and do all that stuff. But Hilgenberg got out there, and he goes, whap, and he just scrapes Mel Owens right off him.
Hilgenberg has had one terrific year. Hit it for the Pro Bowl, and deservedly so. To Whiteman from McMahon. The backup tight end gets about 8. And tempers start to flare just a bit. Jim Collins was the first man to hit him.
That's what they say. You see that those linemen, Hilgenberg goes back there, and they all shake hands. Boy, that's good. You were out there blocking and fighting and stuff, they say. Hilgenberg was saying the other day, so you know the great thing about being a football player is you don't have to take a shower to go to work. Watch Hilgenberg here. He's in Dijonais. He hits him, gets the helmet in there, get that hand up there, boom, the right hand, then the left hand, then both hands, then another one, then the right again, then the push, plays over, get a little help, go get some more. Don't take a shower, don't comb your hair. You don't have to do that stuff to go to work when you play football.
Free agent from Iowa. Long history of football players and good ones in that family. Here's Peyton. Peyton very close to a first down. In fact, I think he got it after a gain of 3. Owens and Eckern on the stop, 2 of the Ram linebackers. 6:33 left to play in the first quarter, and the Bears have thoroughly dominated.
I tell you, they felt, I mean, everyone feels the day before, but they felt that it's very important to get ahead early on this team. Because if the Rams get ahead, then they can give you that big dose of Dickerson all day. But if you get ahead of them, then it doesn't mean as much.
Galt is wide to the left. Suey sets up as the flanker behind Reitman to the right. McMahon goes quickly to Galt. And Galt in the grasp of Leroy Irvin. Still got 6.
That was an audible there. They saw Leroy Irvin off, and they audibleized to Galt. Now, it's a quick pass. Now, 174, Jimbo Covert here. He has to cut Reggie Doss, the end man. See, cut him down so that gives McMahon the lane to throw that short, quick pass out to Galt. So you got to get that end man down. Then he can't get his hands up to knock the ball down. Get his hands down, get him down. That's the way to do it.
Covert cut him right out of our picture. Second down, back to Peyton. Peyton behind the line of scrimmage by Mel Owens. A loss of a couple.
Man's probably thinking I should have audibleized to another pass. You know, the offensive coaches call the plays for Jim McMahon, but he can audibleize. And usually his audibles are out of the run that they call into the pass that he wants to throw.
As much as a third of the time, he said yesterday, against some defenses. However, the Rams sort of stay in the same defense, so audibleizing is not all that necessary.
In this situation, Mike Ditka likes to run. McMahon likes to pass.
Third down and 7. McMahon incomplete. Intended for Galt as he cut across. Now it looks like the wind has changed, so it's going left to right, which would mean it's behind the Bears.
I'll tell you, if you're a player or a coach or a kicker or anything, and you start worrying about the wind and try and figure out, they take you right from the field to some metal joint.
Kevin Butler from 33 yards away with Steve Fuller holding. Butler missed 3 times last week as they shut out the Giants. But he had a great year. Back on track. And the Bear lead increases to 10-0 with 4:26 left to play in the first quarter.
Fuel-injected Dodge Lancers come with optional turbochargers, and you can't expect that kind of power to stay put.
It's the boys' night out, and they're cruising around. The boys' night out, and they're doing the town. They're ripping up, heading out, looking for fun.
Now, get 8.6 financing or $1,000 cash back on Lancer ES.
I had to try this to believe it. Denerex tingles. Tells me it's doing more. Selsun Blue, no tingle.
Both have dandruff medicine, but Denerex adds an extra anti-itch medicine many dermatologists recommend.
So long, Selsun Blue. Hello, Denerex.
There's nothing like the feeling of reaching for the top, and there's nothing like the feeling of the Good News disposable razor. Light, easy to handle, twin blades. It's a feeling you only get from Gillette. Good news from Gillette.
You begin with raw steel. Shape it with fire, muscle, and sweat. Polish it to razor-sharp perfection. We're looking for a few good men with a medal to be Marines.
10-0 Bears, 4:26 left first quarter. Butler will kick off to either Brown or Redden. Last time he kicked off, at the last second, they swapped sides. Obviously, Butler would like to kick it away from Brown, not intending to insult Redden. See if they switch again.
That's what they're trying to do. The Bears are trying to do what they call spot kick. Kick to a spot, then have all their cover guys run down to that spot.
This is not a very good kick. And it's going to be handled by Brown at the 19. Don't forget, he's got that great speed. But he only returns it about 5 yards, 6 yards before Morrissey and Thrift bring him down.
You know, of all the things that the Bears have done well this year, the one thing that they didn't do well was their kickoff coverage. And that's one thing they've been worried about all year. And, of course, when you're playing the #1 guy in Ron Brown, they've been worrying about it mostly this week. They had a pretty good start.
1st and 10 for the Rams. They're at their own 25. There is no safety man. Over Brown's head. They had a bundle if they complete that one.
They didn't have any safety in the middle. In fact, they didn't have either safety on the field, Fensick nor Duerson. And they had a 5 defensive linemen. Watch all these guys up here. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defensive linemen. Then they had 2, 4 linebackers. So they were 5-4 and only 2 defensive backs and no safety. That's putting a load in the middle.
That's one we haven't seen before. Now they go back into that shift. Fensick comes up. Dickerson comes out of there. Dickerson tripped up by Singletary after a gain of 6.
I think the Rams have that shift figured out now. They're shifting Fensick up, and every time we've seen them do that this year, they've run right at Fensick. That time they did again, but they had a blocker on Fensick. They had a little success there.
Brings up a 3rd and 4 situation. Brown wide left, Ellard wide right. Dickerson standing right up behind Brock so he can hear what's going on, and now he backs away. Here's Eric Dickerson. He did not get the 1st down. Looked like there could have been. It must have been a fumble.
Well,
David Hill ended up with it.
Yeah, the ball came out of there, and David Hill recovered the fumble for a 1st down. They had Eric Dickerson stop. Dickerson looked like he left his blockers too soon. Watch the guard and the tackle pull here. Dickerson just goes straight ahead. He leaves both blockers. Now right here he gets hit. The ball comes out, but it comes this way. David Hill catches it and runs it, advances it for a 1st down.
Their first down.
That's one way to get it.
Brock back to throw. Gets it outside to Tony Hunter. And Hunter hammers up to about the 45 before Leslie Frazier gets him out of bounds. A gain of 7.
Wilbur Marshall missed a tackle on that. That's one thing about this Bear defense. They're all good tacklers. And you very seldom see a guy miss a tackle. First, I think Tony Hunter caused a little of that. You know, maybe gave him a little move there. Marshall was right there and had him and then missed him.
2nd down and 3. Dickerson and Redden. 2-back setup now for the Rams. It's Dickerson. Is hit by William Perry right at the line of scrimmage and lunges up close to another 1st down for the Rams.
Yeah, they are having trouble, Pat, with that shift we're talking about where they take Duerson, put him back, and they bring Fensick up. Fensick made that tackle again. Let's see if we can see what they're doing. Here's where they start. Here's Fensick. Here's Duerson. Now, before the shift, then he comes up here and ends up here. Fensick does. Duerson goes back here, and they run right into him. Watch it. See, they show this. Now, here goes Duerson back. Here comes Fensick up, 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 up. He ends up right there. You see, he's the guy that made the tackle.
3rd and about a foot. Duman is now in front of Dickerson. This is Hunter in motion. They give to Dickerson. I don't know. Singletary again.
I don't think he got a 1st down there, Pat. I don't even think that's one you'd measure. I think that's one if your defense you celebrate.
Might have lost a yard after they finally mark it.
Singletary took as many hits after the play as he did the hit, but watch the hit on the play. He reads it. He takes Dickerson right in the hole. The first thing as a tackler you want to do is stop his momentum and straighten him up. Then after you get him straightened up, the next thing is you get him going backwards.
Those two have met before in college. and the other times they've played since they've been professionals. Dickerson from SMU, Singletary from Baylor. Hatcher's kick sails away from Portico. He lets it bounce out of bounds, and the Bears will take over at their own 19. 1 minute, 17 seconds left to play in the first quarter. 10-0, Bears over the Rams. Penalty marker down, and the conference goes on with Jim Tunney, the referee.
It's against the Rams.
Number 51 downfield illegally. Penalty is declined. First down.
Bears lead it 10-0 as we approach the end of the first quarter, and they've been totally in control.
It's your money, son. But if you want my advice, buy another Subaru.
Sure, Dad.
I thought we agreed you'd buy a Subaru.
But, Dad, I did.
The Subaru XT Coupe, chosen the 1986 MVP car of Sport Magazine.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before I bring on our little Italian mouse, Topo Gigio.
Hi, can you tell me a nice place to stay, please?
There's the Hyatt House down the road.
On the main streets of America, there is a changing of the guard. From a generation who started businesses close to home in a much simpler time, to a generation who knows long-distance telecommunications is no longer a luxury, but a necessity of business life. A generation who demands the economy, innovation, and quality that is the once and future trademark of GTE Sprint. When you've got Sprint, you've got the future on the line.
If you're terminally ill in Holland, you can get a doctor to end your life. In America, you have to do it yourself. That story tonight on CBS.
The crowd is intense, and the hitting on the field is intense. Eric Dickerson and Mike Singletary just had a violent collision just a minute ago, and Singletary won that battle. They said they were going to put a lot of hats on him, and they did. The big hat of Mike Singletary was the first one there.
You wonder what excites a middle linebacker? I think we just saw it.
First down, Bears from their own 19. They get to Peyton, and Peyton struggles for about 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. Jim Collins is the Ram who made the tackle.
Well, does that poor nose tackle take a lot of different blocks in that thing? They just, old Emery Moorhead came in and got him to center. Hilgenberg's working on DeJournay in there. And then the tight end comes in and traps him. And I always have about 2 or 3 guys kind of hanging on that nose tackle's jersey. That's why the Rams use 3. You know, they use 3 guys just to handle that one position.
Second down, about 5. Cannon in motion, it's Peyton again. Jumped away from Nolan Cromwell and from Gary Green, and jumped very close to a first down. Van Horn, the offensive right tackle, was the man who was slow getting up, number 78.
You know, talking to the Ram players, the Ram defensive players, they said the thing that Peyton gives you that really worries you is that when he comes out there, he can throw that ball. So you have to have one guy come up to force it, you know, to force the end. But the other guy has to be the support man. He has to stay back. Because Walter, if they both come up to help tackle on that end run, he just stops and throws it. He said that threat really takes away your aggressiveness on defense.
3rd and 1 from the 28. Pitch back to Peyton. Gets outside the 30, and that'll be a first down. Johnny Johnson made the stop, but they'll move the sticks.
And they move the sticks because of the move that Walter Payton made on Jim Collins. Collins was free. He was square. He had him. Walter gave him a little move, boom, 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 and he misses him. Watch him as Payton comes out here. Watch Collins. He has him there. He gives him the dip. He gives him the limp arm, and then he goes and gets the first down. Collins makes the tackle. It's no first down.
And that's the end of the first quarter at Soldier Field with the host Chicago Bears leading 10-0.
You know, eating more foods low in saturated fat, like vegetables and fish, does my heart good.
Your heart will love you for it.
Since I hung up my size 19 sneakers, Dave and I get together for a few light beers from Miller.
And argue about who was the greatest player.
You were the greatest.
No, Bob, you were.
At least we agree Light's taste is the greatest.
Yep, Light's also less filling. And you can't afford to get filled up when you're the great Bob Lanier.
Come on, Dave. You won the MVP and the championship. Those were the two biggest feats in basketball.
No, Bob. Those were the two biggest feats in basketball.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Being there. That's what being a State Farm agent is all about.
When Scott and Vicki started to outgrow their insurance, we got together and reviewed it all. The new house, a second car, life and health coverages too. A State Farm family insurance checkup can be a big help. It's free, and it's there because things change. And like a good neighbor... Right, Jason? Yeah! State Farm is there!
Who has taken the intimidation out of VCR programming?
Give me that.
RCA, with the first remote programmable VCR.
Bird brain.
You record exactly what you want, when you want. By remote control, for easy mistake-proof programming. So simple.
I can do it myself.
From RCA.
Downtown Chicago and the Windy City today is living up to its nickname. Sears Tower, of course, this country's tallest building. First down, Bears at their own 31. Suey was the man in motion. McMahon going for the bundle. Got Willie Gault, who almost came up with a catch, but it's incomplete. And Willie Gault had a step. Johnny Johnson was the nearest Ram, but Gault flew right by everybody.
Well, that was the zone. The Rams are always in a zone, but this is where the safety has to come deep. You see, Johnson had the deep area. Gault got by him, but that ball did tricks in the wind. I mean, it was outside of Gault one time, then it was over his head, then it was inside. Willie was trying to adjust, then it was short, and he fell down. He made about 4 adjustments, one of them falling on his back on that play.
That was the final adjustment. 104 to 21 in total yards. Bears lead in that category and on the scoreboard. McMahon outside Suey. That Suey gets him at 7. Carl Eckern wrapped him up.
I think one of the things that long pass to Willie Gault did is it tells that Ram defense, we're going to go deep. We know you're playing zone, but you better keep your zone deep. You better get that guy back there.
That's Mel Owens, the Ram linebacker, the outside linebacker who's down. Five-year pro from Michigan. The Rams have 8 linebackers. Yeah, they're a strong group. That's their strong suit. Let's go back and see if we can figure out what happened to Owens.
Well, he made the tackle on this play. I think he ran into Suey right here and his own guy, Carl Eckern. See, Eckern on top. Eckern was tackling, and as he was tackling Suey, he was spinning around, and that went right into Mel Owens.
And Collins was on top of all of them. Still 10-0.
The NBA's premier point guards will be matched when Magic Johnson and the world champion Lakers visit Isaiah Thomas and the Pistons next Sunday on CBS Sports.
The latest Dallas Cowboy in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Mr. Roger Staubach.
Imagine being here with part of the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 1985. It's a dream come true for me. I'm Roger Staubach, and this is the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, where the class of 1985 joins 123 other men who have become part of professional football history. Frank Gatsky, the silent one, led his team to 11 championships. Joe Namath, the first man to pass for over 4,000 yards in a single season. Commissioner Pete Rozelle, who helped make professional football and the National Football League the greatest in American sports. The Juice, O.J. Simpson, first player to run for more than 2,000 yards in a single season. That's me, Roger Staubach, and I'll be here along with all the players and teams at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, waiting for you. Don't miss it.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you've always wanted in a beer, and less. And by GTE, the telecommunications consultant to Super Bowl 20.
Pat Summerall and John Madden were at Soldier Field, the last home game for the Honey Bears, as well as the Chicago Bears. Honey Bears, of course, the Bear cheerleaders. Third down and 4. 3rd and 3, call it. McMahon under pressure. Throws high, intended for Payton. They put the pressure on the quarterback. Jim Collins was the leader, along with DeJournay.
Well, they had good pressure. The other thing they had was excellent coverage. That's what McMahon is still looking for, someone that was open. They had their nickel package in, their extra defensive back, the Rams did, but they had all the Bear receivers covered.
Maury Buford back to punt for the Bears. Henry Ellard and Johnny Johnson back deep for the Rams. Ellard is dangerous.
That's the guy Mike Ditka said. He's the guy that we're most worried about on this whole Ram team is Henry Ellard.
Buford end over end kick that'll bounce to Ellard. He is bounced by Hilgenberg, the man who did the snapping. He's down there in a hurry. Next Sunday, the season's premiere of CBS Sports Sunday, featuring the 1985 All-Madden football team and the World Triathlon Championships. And I would think that Mr. Hilgenberg might certainly be a candidate for the All-Madden team. I'm not asking you.
Well, no, he is. I mean, a guy that does that, he, plays center, snaps on punts, run down. His whole family, they all had center. Those guys never played catch in their life facing each other. They used to be in the backyard, and all they'd see is the backsides going all the time, and, shirt hanging out, stuff like that. There was a guy who was on it last year, Bill Bain.
Bobby Duckworth will split wide to the left. Here's Dickerson, chased by Wilbur Marshall and taken down by William Perry. A loss of about 4.
I'll tell you, Marshall got there, and right after Marshall, there was William Perry. Let's watch Marshall. He's coming from right here, but also watch the big refrigerator. He's going to come there, too. I was going to say, you see the fridge, he starts inside. There goes Marshall, starts in, works out. He gets him. Now watch 72. He's finished him up. When they see him coming, they're looking for some plastic.
He can move. Brock's pass over the head of Duckworth. He and Michael Young are now the wide receivers for the Rams. Dieter Brock was saying he's 1 out of 5. And when he played up in Canada, which he did for 11 years, particularly in the years at Winnipeg, he said the wind blew hard every day.
Hey, so last year he played in the Grey Cup and it was 10 degrees. I don't think the weather's bothering him as much as this NFL defense or this Chicago Bear defense.
The Bruce brothers. It's outside of Tony Leonard. He's knocked out of bounds by fencing. And again, the Rams will have to punt. Otis Wilson. This city is Bear mad, particularly about the defense.
Hey, we both stayed here all week. I have never seen a city support a football team or be so excited about a football team as I have being in Chicago this week.
Boy, isn't that the truth? Everywhere you look, everything you hear. Hatcher gets off a good kick this time to Ortego. Back at the 20. He had a tough time circling in on that one. Ortego taken down by Norwood Van. 37-yard punt. They net 29 out of it, and the Bears take over at their own 29.
If you like your hamburgers hot and beefy, clap your hands. Big Mac. Quarter pounder. McDLT. Big and beefy, you can eat your fill. We got it hand warm and hot on the grill. And warm and hamburger time. It's a good time for the great taste. Gotta be alive if you don't get hot. Hot, 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 yeah!
學過嘅喎，佢哋全部咧都係 United States、Chicago、Los Angeles、Boston、Massachusetts。
United Airlines can take you to the Far East from more U.S. cities than any other airline.
New York.
United Airlines to Tokyo and to Hong Kong. Fly a friend to the Far East.
You're not just flying. 美麗。Colilla, Ohio. You're flying the friendly skies.
Introducing the Subaru 3-door. The perfect car for the nightlife. A perfect car for the wildlife. And the perfect car for real life.
Tuesday, the music, the legends, the superstars. It's a spectacular tribute to an American treasure, the 60th anniversary of the Grand Ole Opry.
Let's watch what the wind is doing here. Here's the snap to the punter, Dale Hatcher. Watch how it just starts going out, 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 out. He catches it outside. Then when he punts the ball, he punts it right here in the right hash mark, and it ended up outside the left hash mark.
Ortego did well not to fumble it.
Hatcher did well catching it.
He did. Inside handoff to Calvin Thomas, and it didn't fool anybody. Reggie Doss. Jim Collins on the tackle.
That's a type of play that really isn't going to fool this Ram defense because they're a stay-at-home, read type of thing. Everyone just play their area. They started Walter Payton one way, then they came back underneath. But the Ram defense is a very disciplined group. Of course, then you say, well, then how come they gave McMahon the lane to run in for the touch? I don't know. That time they weren't.
Their whole philosophy is very simple. Second down and about 11. McMahon back to throw. He's under pressure, and here he comes again. McMahon slides about a yard shy of the first down. Under Carl Eckern. Picked up 9.
McMahon says he doesn't understand that rule. He says, what's the rule? He's telling the referee, Jim Tunney, said, they told me that if I slide feet first, they don't hit you. You're down. If I slide head first, they can hit me. So I changed from sliding head to feet, and they still hit me. What's the deal, ref? Watch him here. It's the same thing. Now, number 69 is Meisner. He's the nose tackle. I think he was supposed to be spying on McMahon. You see him coming here? He's just not fast enough. McMahon gets by here. Now he gets a play. Now he sees he goes feet first, and he still gets hit.
It sets up 3rd and 1. Thomas in motion. The handoff to Payton, and he got the first down. Reggie Doss on the bottom of the pile, but Payton got just enough. Checking out the total offense, 121 yards for the Bears, 26 for the Rams, with 11:27 left in the first half.
There's the fridge. I saw him out here earlier, and he was just in a T-shirt. You know, he's getting that weight down. And I've always noticed when a guy gets his weight down, he starts wearing a lot of T-shirts. You know, when you have your weight up there, you wear a lot of coats and stuff over you.
You thought his weight was going down?
I think his weight's going down. Yeah, I do. I think that 7 and a 2 is getting closer to the middle of his body now.
Looked like a full package to me when we were down on the field before.
He said one thing. He said, I'll tell you, the wind doesn't bother me. He said, I feel sorry for those receivers. Bridge can anchor himself in there, but he stays where he puts those feet.
Take a pretty stout breeze to move him around. Here's McMahon. McKinnon at the Ram 44. Gary Green stopped him.
I don't know if that's with or against the wind because the wind is swirling down there, but that was a heck of a throw by Jim McMahon. Watch Dennis McKinnon. He's going to come up, then he's going to run it in here towards us right now, but that ball was zipped right in there. He hit him right between the 8 and the 5.
We were talking about the weather forecast yesterday with Dennis McKinnon. He said 40 degrees. Man, it's going to be a breeze. 7 out of 10. McMahon is down by Reggie Doss. First sack, and McMahon scrambles to his feet angrily.
He wants to get in a fight. You can't do that. The quarterback, you can't fight. He got sacked. He was trying to throw a quick pass, a quick hitch out here, and Galt was covered. And then after he couldn't, had he thrown it, he would have been intercepted. He just had to hold it and take the sack.
True, you know, you don't hear about many quarterbacks being in fights.
No, usually they're off, saying, telling everyone, calm down, calm down. See, I think it's that extra hit there at the knee when Doug Reed came over the top. Then McMahon said, when you're a quarterback, the way you fight a guy is you throw the ball at him.
And then you back up.
Yeah, he zings it in at Reed.
McMahon gives to Payton. Payton trying to get around the corner. Does a little bit. Taken out of bounds by Collins. No flag.
Well, the fans are booing on that, Pat, but that's a tough one for Johnny Johnson. He's coming up. Now, when you get on that sideline, you have to unload on Payton because you know he's going to unload on you. And that's what Johnson's saying. I just can't stand there and let him unload on me. Now, watch Walter as he comes up there just before he goes out of bounds. Watch him how he switches the ball. Now, he's going to unload with that right arm. So Johnson has to get his load ready to go load to load. And the fans boo when you do that.
Tough to stop it.
Well, you got to. If a guy's loading up on you, you got to load up on him or you go backwards.
And you better bring a bigger load.
Then you change occupations.
Gentry in the backfield as McMahon goes out of the shotgun now. And Gentry goes in motion. McMahon whips it out to Payton. Incomplete. He had some room. And there was nobody around. Payton doesn't drop that many.
Well, that's the thing with that zone defense. The Rams are always in a zone. When you go short like that, there won't be a man on you. Walter knew that. There was no one there. There was no one within 10 yards of Walter Payton on that one. He was thinking of the moves he was going to be making.
So Maury Buford comes on, and Johnson and Ellard go back deep for the Rams. Buford's first effort was of 37 yards. Leroy Irvin. I said Ellard. It's Leroy Irvin back deep. Johnson signals fair catch, makes it at about the 16. The word on Ellard, by the way, is he is in the locker room having his ribs taped at the moment. 30-yard punt. 9:35 left to play in the first half at Soldier Field. The Bears lead 10-0.
Some companies rent you a car, and that's it. But Hertz is with you all the way, with customer service representatives to speed you on your way. Computerized driving directions to help you find your way, and 24-hour road service in case you get stuck on the way. So you have a choice for your money. You can rent from a company that just gives you a car, or rent a car that gives you a company. Hertz, you don't just rent a car, you rent a company.
We're
we're here at the 18th hole of this Light Beer Open, and we've seen some real unusual shots today.
You said it.
Hey, Bob, I think you got a birdie.
I'll see. How am I supposed to hit it through this tree?
No problem, Bert.
How's Yuka going to get out of this one?
That calls for another light beer from Miller.
Make it 2, 3, 4. It's a good thing light's less filling.
Back to you, Mickey.
John, the last player's approaching the tee.
And when it goes to 100, you sell. I won't be long, girls. Hold my calls, will you?
It hit the weather vane. It's in the drain. Here it comes out. It's going on the green. It's going in the hole.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
This Open ought to be closed.
Next Saturday, Ohio State takes on Boston College. Then Pearl Washington leads highly ranked Syracuse against Louisville in a regional doubleheader on CBS Sports.
This was last week's most embarrassing moment. Sean Landeta, the punter for the Giants. Look at his hand underneath the ball.
You know, and all punters watch and evaluate each other. Talk to both punters of the Bears and the Rams, and they say that wouldn't happen to them because they hold the ball on top of the ball. Their hand, instead of being under the ball when you drop, is on top of the ball with the drop.
And in a wind, that would certainly make a difference. Brock throws out to Brown at about the 20. A gain of 3, and that's all. The average yards on first down, and boy, doesn't that make a difference.
Well, it makes a big difference, especially the team that only has 1 yard, the Rams. That's their thing. You know, they don't play long yardage. I mean, Dieter Brock isn't the kind that's going to convert 3rd and long for you a lot.
2nd down and 7. Tony Hunter was the man in motion. Brock backs out. Got the ball, I believe, to Brown again, and that should be enough for a first down. A gain of 11 this time. Leslie Frazier was the defender.
I'll tell you one thing that, you know, in this first half of the game, the Rams offensive line is doing a better job at pass protection than the Giants did a week ago. I mean, Dieter Brock is getting rid of the ball quicker. He's taking a shorter drop, 3 or 5 steps, quick release, and he's getting relatively good pass protection.
1st and 10, they have no sacks as yet. They had 6 last week. The Bears. Ball at the 31. Dickerson cutting back, trying to find some place to go, and there's not much room there. Singletary and Marshall. Rep Dickerson, and here comes another little scuffle. Hankey and David Hill of the Rams involved with Durson and Dent. Gain of 3.
See, Perry's in there, the refrigerator. He's shaking his head and saying, not me. So he said, I didn't do it. The other guy started it. I say, come on, Biscuit. They don't call him Fridge. You know, he got that nickname Biscuit when he first came in. Dan Hampton, 99, next to him, watched him get on a scale and said, that guy's a biscuit away from 350. That's what they call him, Biscuit.
Buddy Ryan calls him the Big Rook.
Big Rook. Big Rook, Biscuit, Fridge, Refrigerator.
Got a lot of names. Brown has the ball. And the penalty marker goes down. I think Brown might have run out of bounds. I'm not sure. It's Michael Young, not Brown.
If you look at the official on the sideline right here, Pearl Toller has his hat off. That means he threw the hat when Brown went out of bounds.
It's Young, not Brown. We're both wrong. But I think he did go out of bounds.
Well, he did go out of bounds because Pearl Toller is back here on the 35-yard line with his hat off.
The receiver went out of bounds, making him ineligible. Loss of down only, 7 down.
But the rule is the receiver can go out of bounds and come back in and catch a tip pass. He can come back in and block, but he can't go out of bounds and come back in and be the receiver. Watch, he got bumped. You know, the thing is, he did go out of bounds, but that was an illegal bump. Mike Richardson can't bump him after 5 yards before the ball's in the air. You can bump that first 5. Now, that official, he did a good job of catching Young going out of bounds, but he did a bad job of catching the bump. that knocked him out of bounds that was illegal.
Michael Young this time is where he was last time. Split wide to the right. Brock looking in that direction. Batted away by Tyrone Keys. That was part of their package. That was part of the scheme. He's 6'8", and he batted it down.
Buddy Ryan has a new wrinkle, and that is to put Tyrone Keys in on passing down. They have their 46. Buddy Ryan calls Keys too tall. So he said, we're going to put too tall in there because Dieter Brock is going to have a tough time throwing overs, and we want yet another tall guy in there.
Brock is only 6 feet. After the punt. And that's a good one. More to go. Sandwiched at the 25. Mark Giroux.
I think there may be 2 penalties down there. The official threw a flag and a hat.
There's a yellow flag down. He's got his hat back. There's the flag.
Well, that's the first thing you see is you throw a flag, and then if you see another one, you throw a hat. Then your third thing is a bean bag they throw. They're just calling 1 penalty, though. Blocking from behind above the waist or something. That'll be 10 yards against the Bears.
That's a 44-yard punt.
Illegal block on the return. Number 29, Chicago, 10 yards, first down.
Call against Dennis Gentry. 7:14 left to play in the first half, and the Bears continue to lead by that same margin, 10-0.
So how much you making now? Huh?
I'm going fine.
You got to be making at least 25.
I'm fine. Maybe a little better than that.
30? Tell me yes or no. Are you making 30?
Around 30.
Got any investments? Any stuff?
Not really.
You're making 30, and you don't have anything like that. What do you think? You're 18 years old or something?
Once there were 2 bears, a big bear
I'll have a Coca-Cola Classic.
and an even bigger bear.
Give me a case, Coke.
This bear loves the big, bold taste of Coca-Cola Classic, the original. And this bear loves the light, smooth taste of Coke, because it goes down real easy.
How about another?
Yeah, another case.
Another case?
You got to keep a lot of Coke in the refrigerator.
Coke and Coca-Cola Classic.
Plymouth shows you why the pride is back. Plymouth Voyager, car-like handling, Plymouth's 550 protection plan. Versatile Plymouth Voyager.
The pride is back. Born in America again.
Now get low financing or $500 to $1,000 back on select Chrysler Plymouth models.
Let's go back and look at that pass to Young a minute ago where he was called for being out of bounds. Look what gets him out of bounds.
Of course, Richardson hits him there in the first 5 yards. Now watch that. He knocked him out of bounds with his shoulder and his right arm. And then Young came back in and caught the ball. They said that that was illegal. Now Art McNally of the league office says that that was incidental contact that knocked him out of bounds. I don't know if Robinson saw that one, but when he sees that one, he's going to say that incidental contact is what makes guys change professions.
Changes the color of your hair.
Yeah, that was a bad one. They can call it anything they want, but that was a bad call.
First down Bears. McMahon gets it outside of Peyton. Peyton gets it outside and out of bounds. Knocked out by Mike Wiltshire. Gain of only 3 as Tom Thayer was out in front of Peyton with a good block.
Yeah, they did that play before, remember, and it was Jay Hilgenberg got out there with a good block, and as you say, that time the right guard, Tom Thayer, got out there and made that block.
Bears have it 2nd and 7 from their own 19. 6:40 left to play in the first half. McMahon retreats. Flag is down, and McMahon comes out of the pack. Stopped by Collins. But a penalty marker down.
But there we see again the thing that Jim McMahon does. He's going to go against the Bears anyway, but he'll look for a receiver. If the receiver's not there, he looks for the lane to run in. And if that's not there, and if there's a penalty, then he smiles about it, and he knows there's more to come. Says, boy, this is a little easier today than I thought.
5 yards, still second down.
Still second down. McMahon looking over to the sideline. It'll be second and 12. Information has just come to us that the winds have diminished and are down to about 10 miles an hour now. Second and 12. Moorhead on the move. And somebody else moved.
Now that'll be against the Rams, and Jim McMahon got that penalty. What he does is after he takes a penalty, Bob Greasy used to be the master at this. He uses the cadence to draw him off sides. Then the cadence...
False start. Number 78.
It got his own guy. But McMahon was trying to get him. As he said, I always get him when I go, hut, 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 and then hut, and it's on 4. Now watch him. He's going, hut, hut, hut. See, but the guy got his guy, Keith Van Horn, number 78, instead of the Ram defense. McMahon was trying to get them, and it got his own guy.
I think you just got half of our audience, too.
Oh, that's how he does it. You know, you go hut, hut. Then on that third one, you really bellow it, and everyone jumps, including your guy.
Second and 17. McMahon draw play. Calvin Thomas to about the 9. Gary Jeter on the tackle. A gain of only 1.
Gary Jeter had a big game last week against the Dallas Cowboys. He had 3 sacks and played his best game as a Ram. He's not the starting right end. He's the kind of the designated pass rusher, and he's kind of rejuvenated his career this year.
He really has.
He was traded from the Giants, and then he had some injuries and surgery and thought his game was finished, and came back this year in a big way. That adds a little hunger.
That's McKinnon on the move. And they chase McMahon back into the end zone. He tried to throw a middle screen to Dennis Gentry, but there was nothing there, and almost McMahon was not there.
And almost the ball was coming towards McMahon. That's a dangerous area to try and throw away a pass. You know, right there in the middle. I think they knocked the screen man down. They had it covered well. They could have intercepted that one and taken it in the end zone.
Leroy Irvin and Johnny Johnson back deep for the Rams, standing at about their 44, the Bear 44. Maury Buford coming out of his own end zone with this punt. Buford's punt bounces away from Johnson. It really takes a Bear bounce. Some confusion between Irvin and Johnson as to who would handle it, and it winds up all the way back at the Ram 35, a 55-yard punt.
Of course, we have to remember that the top punt returner in the league, Henry Ellard, isn't in there. We have a backup in there, Johnny Johnson. It looked like they just didn't have their communication down, because there's no way they should have let that ball hit the ground.
Look at John Robinson's reaction.
You know, I mean, you lose 20 yards of field position on that bounce. That'll gray a few gray hairs on a coach.
Henry Ellard is back now, got his ribs taped. Dieter Brock looking in his direction. Incomplete. Knocked away by Singletary. Flag is down. Penalty marker down. If the wind is decreased, it's pretty hard to tell it.
I think it may have decreased and then picked up again.
No foul on the play. The ball was touched. Ball was touched. Incomplete pass. Second down.
Singletary tipped it, so there's no foul on the play.
What they're saying is here comes number 50, Mike Singletary. Now, because he tips the ball, then there can't be pass interference on the corner. See, the corner interfered, and had that ball not been tipped, it would have been pass interference.
Drop. Pass Duckworth, incomplete and out of bounds. Frazier was close, sorry.
That looked like a duck to Passworth.
See the goalposts and the ribbons up top, but the posts themselves wiggling in the wind.
Did you ever kick when the posts were moving?
Well, the posts were wooden in those days.
And they weren't as high either.
They weren't as high, that's right.
Now they're long, old, tall pipes.
Third down. Hunter on the move. And the give is to Dickerson. Dickerson around the corner. Dickerson, first down, Rams. Fensick finally stopped him. That's his longest run of the day.
I think that's the thing that's going to be some encouragement to the Rams in this first half, is the fact that they can get out here. Now watch Wilson. He'll move out of the way with a motion. Then they bring the guard and the tackle out here to lead on this play. See, they get the motion. There goes Wilson. Now they got a weak or a soft corner over here. Wilbur Marshall is over here all by himself. David Hill takes him in. Now Kent Hill can get in front of Dickerson, and they can get enough to darn near get a first down.
I thought he had a first down, but after they marked it, Dickerson thought he had a first down. He was really upset after they marked it back where they did. High hanging kick by Hatcher, and it takes a Ram bounce. Rams follow it down the sideline and down it inside the 10.
Of course, you can say it's a mistake for the punt returners. You know, you have to catch that ball, but I think that's one of the things in this weather with this wind. That's a very difficult act.
A reminder that the NBA on CBS returns next Sunday as the world champion Los Angeles Lakers take on the Detroit Pistons. Two of the game's premier guards in action in that one. Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas of Detroit. Next Sunday at noon, 9 Pacific, here on CBS. Noon Eastern, of course. Rams down at about the bare 8-yard line. So it's 1st and 10 from there. McKinnon comes wide left. Galt is wide right. Jim Payton. And there is nothing there. Payton might have struggled for a yard, but not much more. Reggie Doss was the first Ram there.
Mike Singletary, nicknamed Samurai. He's in there smiling about, well, we're doing some hitting out there today, aren't we, guys? But I tell you, this Ram defense is doing some hitting out there. I think that they'll be encouraged going into the halftime because they've started to settle down. You know, the Bears can't get much going on them now, and they broke Dickerson a little on that last run. They had that long pass to Young, and it was called back, and they're starting to get some things going in their subtle way.
2nd and 8. McMahon up to throw it. Throws it to Payton. Payton gets enough for a first down, a gain of 10 with that last little extra surge.
One thing, when you leave Walter Payton alone like that in his own defense and he drops one, you know he's not going to drop the second one. You know, that second one he's going to get, and he's going to get a first down. That's here. Now watch the zone. You see there's a little play pass. The linebackers drop back. Payton catches a ball in front of him. That's the underneath area. Then he makes a move on Nolan Cromwell, cuts back, and gets the first down.
They get it out to the 20. And the clock is running with 2:02 left now, and they probably would not get another one off, and they don't before the 2-minute warning. Both teams, by the way, have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. The Bears lead it 10-0.
When you play on the same team,
and you both name Youngblood,
life can be confusing.
Hey, remember the time I played 2 games with a broken leg?
No, Jimmy, that was me.
It was? There's no confusing our favorite beer, light beer from Miller.
Yeah, light tastes great.
But Jack, you drink it because it's less filling.
No, Jim, that's you.
It is?
Paging, Mr. Youngblood.
Well, I got to go.
Not you, Jack. The other one.
Hey, that's me.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer.
And less.
At the Wall Street Journal, we believe that building a dream takes more than luck and hard work. It takes a vision of what tomorrow holds today. At the Journal, we've been giving people that vision for over 90 years. The Wall Street Journal, the daily diary of the American dream.
Fans, please.
Mr. Garfield, welcome to Embassy Suites Hotel.
My room.
Oh, all our rooms are really 2-room suites for the price of a single room.
Beautiful. Don't change a thing.
The living room, sir.
Love what you've done with this room.
The bedroom.
This is great. I need my space.
And of course, you'll want to take advantage of Embassy Suites free breakfast.
Food.
Served every morning.
At Embassy Suites, you don't have to be a fat cat to enjoy the sweet life.
I resemble that remark.
Looking down at Soldier Field. Earlier today, one of the people flying a helicopter up there where that camera is located was saying that the wind at that altitude was gusting up to 60 miles an hour. Amazing how steady they can stay under those conditions. 10-0.
You have to be real steady to get in one of those things and go up there when it's 60 miles an hour.
I don't think I'm going to catch you in one, am I?
Never leave the ground.
It's 1st and 10. Incomplete, intended for Matsui. Jim Collins on the coverage. Mike Wilcher put a little pressure before he was picked up by Peyton.
Hey, one thing, you know, that's the thing that people don't always realize about Walter Payton is that they ask him to do these type of things. You know, he's not only a runner, but, I mean, he'll block for you, he'll do everything, and if he doesn't get it done the proper way, he'll hold, he'll grab, whatever it takes. When you've been in the league 11 years, you get your body turned a little, you grab, you pull down, do those things.
McMahon is down by Doug Reed, and the second time he's been sacked.
Hey, and Doug Reed came down. He looked like he was relatively free.
Rams have called a timeout. Doug Reed looking on. Just got the second sack of the day for the Rams.
I remember a year ago, Doug Reed's a second-year guy, but a year ago when he came in from San Diego State, he was the big surprise in their training camp and so on. And he was also the guy that had to replace the legendary Jack Youngblood. Now we see Doug Reed here. We get this linebacker's blitzing, and Reed is coming here. And Van Horn, the right tackle, isn't sure who he should take. He tries to go out. He finally goes with the linebacker. The tight end was supposed to block Doug Reed on that play. And he came down to cut him, and he missed him. Doug Reed got there.
The Rams have taken the timeout, leaving them with 2. John Robinson, old friend of yours, close friend of yours, and what a nice man.
Well, forever. You know, John Robinson and I grew up together. We were in grammar school and all that, and I know what he's telling those guys. He was telling them because I know the way he thinks. He's telling them, we got him now. He's telling, we got things going. We got them backed up. We got our running starting to go. We got a little passing on them. We're going to beat them in the second half, guys. We're wearing them down. I know that's what he's saying.
That's Peyton in motion. And the handoff is to Suey. Collins was looking at him, a gain of 9, but that just about gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Carl Eckern on the stop. Rams take another timeout. And so now they have one remaining. The Bears have been built basically, I should say, on very sharp draft choices and a lot of free agents. And a lot of it was done in 1983.
Well, you know, of course, Muggs Hallis, that's George Hallis Jr., was the president at that time. And, you know, with all these things and the McCaskies here now, and, of course, his father, Papa George Hallis. But Muggs Hallis, you know, had a lot to do with this team. And also, Jim Finks was the vice president and general manager at that time. And neither one of those fellas are here now, but they sure did have a lot to do with the makeup of this team.
This was the draft in 1983. Look at the starters they got out of that single draft. Covert, Galt, Mike Richardson, Durison, Thayer, Richard Dent, and Mark Bortz. Now, that's a good year's work. That's a good 5 years' work.
It sure is, because, you know, of those players, they're not only starters, but 3 of them this year are in the Pro Bowl.
Right. So Maury Buford back to punt. And Johnson and Leroy Irvin stand at midfield. Buford's going to get it between them again, it looks like. No, Johnson makes the adjustment. Johnny Johnson back to the outside. Fumble. Jerry Gray fell on it. And the Rams have had a couple of near disasters on the last 2 punt returns.
But then again, I think we have to say that the #1 punt return in the league, Henry Ellard, isn't in there. This time Johnson here, he fields it. That's the good news. He starts to make a move to the outside. The ball gets hit. It's Jay Hilgenberg down there, the center and the snapper, knocked it out. The Rams were lucky to come up with that one.
First down, Rams at their own 41. They have 1 timeout remaining. Brock high over the head of Henry Ellard.
You know, we were out at practice here on Friday, and Ellard went off, and at that time he had a bad calf. His calf muscle tightened up, and he went off, and now they said they had to tape up his ribs. Now we see him back as a receiver, but he hasn't been there as a punt returner.
And they miss him. Ron Brown split wide to the left, and Ellard is out to the right. Dickerson behind Brock, and they go with 2 tight ends, Bill and Hunter. And the Rams come after Brock. The Bears, rather, come after Brock and almost got there. He stepped up and got rid of it.
And, you know, John Robinson said one thing we're not going to do is they're not going to be hanging all over us, especially these 2 guys. Wilson and Marshall coming here. They both come. They put the pressure on Brock, but he's able to get away from it. Watch him. They have two linebackers on the tight. Marshall, the inside of the 2, is eventually going to put the pressure on him right there and hit him as he throws the ball. But Brock is going to get rid of the ball. That's what John said. He's not going to be holding that thing.
Outside to Hunter. He can't find a handle, and it'll bring up a 4th down. It's incomplete. Finsick was with him. Listen to the applause for the Bear defense. Hatcher back to kick. And it's a Honey. Ortego lets it bounce in front of him. It hits a Bear. It hit a Bear, and the Rams recovered it. Rams have the ball. It hit Reggie Phillips, and the Rams recovered.
Reggie Phillips was down on the ground, and the ball bounced back into him. The ball hit. He was down on the ground.
And Jerry Gray made the recovery for the Rams.
Well, number 48 right there is Reggie Phillips. You see him, he's blocking. He's not trying to touch the ball. He gets knocked down. Look, he's on his back. The ball bounces, hits him right in the knees. Now it's a live ball that can be recovered by the Rams.
Much to the delight Miller was the man in motion. The handoff is to Dickerson. He's down to about the 17. Fensick up to make the stop. The Rams have one timeout left. Clock running with 54 seconds left now. Dickerson got 4.
Yeah. Rams are probably going to try and get a first down before they take their next timeout, but they better hurry up.
Using a lot of valuable seconds. Here's Dickerson. Dickerson hammers down to about the 12, a yard short of a first down before William Perry and Singletary stop him.
I think they're going to try and get another first down and huddle up before they have to take a timeout. But they don't have that much time. He's going to have to throw the ball out of bounds now.
In a hurry.
I'm surprised they even got in a huddle.
I have 2. Down to 10 seconds. 3rd and 1. Brock back to throw. Got a man in the middle. It's Dickerson. He's inside the 5 to about the 4. And the clock just ran out.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that they had a timeout. I can't believe that they went with a huddle.
Now they're saying they have a second remaining.
Well, there was 1 second. Now, you remember, anyone can call timeout now. So it's going to be who called timeout and what official heard it. This is interesting, but I don't know why. I don't know why that they went back to the huddle.
I can't understand what they might have been thinking.
I knew they were trying to save 1 timeout for the field goal. And you know, I think that's a smart thing. But to huddle up, I don't know about that.
And the discussion, there's Buddy Ryan, the Bears defensive coordinator, out arguing, talking to Burl Choler. And the Bears won the argument. I don't understand that whole picture.
Well, they had the timeout. They had 1 timeout left. By saving the timeout, they can throw inside, which they did. But I think Brock had a whole. I think 1, he spent too much time in huddle. 2, I think he had to wait too long before he could find someone. See, wait. Now he finally finds him. Now they can't take timeout until Dickerson is down. Now from here on, they can take timeout. So when he went down, they could have called timeout. But you can't take timeout before the play's finished.
You saw David Hill trying to call a timeout. Here's Dennis Harrah trying to call a timeout. Brock is signaling timeout. Robinson's calling a timeout. Didn't make it.
But again, they could all call timeout, but on the officials' behalf, they can't give timeout until Dickerson is down and the whistle blows.
So a very confusing situation, and the Rams lost a golden opportunity to get something on the scoreboard. 10-0 it is, as the Bears still lead by that same score. Brent Musburger, Bud Grant, Tony Dorsett with first half highlights coming up. Herb Cross will have a report from...
Sponsored by John Hancock Financial Services, meeting today's needs with a range of financial products. And by light beer from Miller, everything you've always wanted in a beer, and less.
Hi, Dad. How you doing?
John, you clown. Come here, you.
You're early. Yeah, well, I was...
This is yours. Yeah, it is.
6,000 STE? You're kidding.
What do you mean?
My dad? A Pontiac 6000?
That's high-tech stuff.
The fuel-injected V6, right?
Yeah.
4-wheel disc brakes?
Yeah, it's got everything. Listen, come here. I know you've been hitting the books pretty hard. So, let's go for a ride.
All right.
We build excitement of Pontiac.
On a typical day, companies transmit about 50 million packets of computer information over the Telenet data network, which is the equivalent of over 1 million typewritten pages. You see, Telenet helps many of the top companies manage vital information, everything from inventories to financial records. Imagine sending this much information in a day without an error.
Gee.
No, GTE.
tonight.
This case is not as simple as it seems.
Will Jessica convict an innocent man? Vicki Lawrence and MacDonald Carey star in Murder, She Wrote. Then,
I was maced. My boy is missing.
a desperate mother enlists the aid of a journalist
Follow every lead.
and infiltrates a black market for selling children.
How much?
25,000.
They've stolen my son.
Valerie Bertinelli,
You're letting them take my baby away.
Rockabye.
The Bears lead the Rams by 10 at the half, and it's a pleasure to be with Tony Dorsett and Bud Grant. And Bud, I thought the Rams wasted an opportunity there in the closing seconds. How did you view what they were doing on the field?
Well, that was a major error right there. They should have at least had 3 points, used their timeout, or gone to the quick offense, thrown the ball out of bounds. Somewhere they had to come up with at least 3 points. A major error could cost them the ball game.
All right, now there is a second game, which will start down in the Orange Bowl for the championship of the AFC. The Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots. And with us live right now is Miami's outstanding quarterback, Danny Marino. And Dan, let me start off by asking you about Mark Clayton. How is he physically? Will he be able to play for the Dolphins today?
Yeah, Mark will be able to play for us today. He had hurt his shoulder a little bit, and he probably, he needed a couple days rest, and he'll be ready to play for us today.
Dan, let me ask you about the possible blitzing tactics. A year ago in the championship, Pittsburgh came at you with everything but the kitchen sink, and you had to pick up one blitz after another. Will the Patriots come today, or will they drop off? What are you looking for?
Well, the Patriots aren't a very big blitzing team. They feel that with their people up front that they have, the 4 rushers, especially on third down, that they can get to the passer and play coverage. And I'm sure they'll blitz some, but they're not a very big blitzing team.
All right, how's your weather down there today?
It's raining.
I got to tell you, Danny, it's starting to snow a little bit here in Chicago, so it's still better in Miami. Good luck to you this afternoon.
Well, thank you very much, Brent.
Bud and Tony, have we seen a quarterback come into the league and do the things that Danny Marino has, Tony, here in the first couple of years that he's been in the NFL?
Never have we have. I think Dan has come in and caught a lot of people by surprise. He was a late pick as far as the quarterbacks are concerned, and this year come out of college in the draft, but Don Shula got him down there and, of course, did a lot of work with him. And Dan's used to throwing a long ball at Pittsburgh, and he's come along quite well.
All right. Now, Andre Tippett is an all-pro linebacker with the New England Patriots. He's hooked up live from the Orange Bowl. Andre, let me ask you about your tactics today. Is Dan Marino right? You'll drop back, or will you blitz him a lot during the game?
We don't know. It's up to the Miami Dolphins. We're just going to react to what they do to us out there, and we have a basic game plan, and if we have to make adjustments at halftime or during the game, we'll just have to do that.
Andre, are the Patriots a team of destiny? How do the players feel about that?
We feel like, it's in our own hands. We control our own destiny. We've been doing that all year, and it's no different now. As far as how the game turns out today, it all depends on how well we play, less mistakes, and just playing hard.
Andre, how about the unfortunate injury and then the story involving Irving Fryer? Has that affected the Patriots' morale at all?
No, not at all. It's something that happened, and, we've been going through all kinds of adversity all year, and it's something that we just have to deal with.
All right, Andre, good luck coming up against the Miami Dolphins for the championship of the AFC, and, of course, the Chicago Bears are only 30 minutes away from a Super Bowl. Bud, how do you look at that AFC game between the Dolphins and the Patriots?
Well, I think the New England's going to have to outscore the Dolphins. They're going to have to score 30 points, 28 at the least. If they can do that, they can beat the Dolphins because they got to give up some points. Miami, I'm not sure, is quite as dominant as we're looking at out here at Soldier Field with the Bears today.
All right, Bud and Tony, I want to show the one moment of controversy involving an official's call or perhaps a non-call in the first half. Here comes Michael Young of the Rams. Mike Richardson is the cornerback. Now, Buddy is bumped once. What's the rule regarding coverage now?
Well, you cannot touch that receiver downfield unless you're going for the ball and it's incidental. He kind of looks up there, but I think the official is watching the out-of-bounds feet and rather than the hands. Right there, you see the push-off. He actually pushed him out of bounds, and I think, obviously, that's a penalty to all of us. The official may have been watching the out-of-bounds closer than they were watching the arms.
Well, Irv Cross has spoken to Michael Young on the way to the locker room. And, Irv, what did he tell you about the contact on that play?
Brent, Michael was kind of low-keyed about it. He didn't want to, put a blame on anybody. He said he felt pressure. He felt he was pushed out of bounds. He said, but gee whiz, Irv, I never should have put myself in that kind of position because really when defensive backs get a receiver near the sideline, they will kind of nudge them out if they could, if all possible.
We know you used to do that, Irv Cross. All right, we're going to come back and take a look at the scoring play and some of the highlights for the first half when we continue after these messages from your local stations.
Next Sunday, the NBA's premier point guards will go head-to-head as Magic Johnson and the world champion Los Angeles Lakers take on Isaiah Thomas and the Detroit Pistons. Then in NCAA basketball, powerful North Carolina goes for its first win ever against Marquette. And on the season premiere of CBS Sports Sunday, John Madden reveals his picks for the All-Madden team. Plus the World Triathlon Championships from Nice, France. All next Sunday on CBS Sports. This is CBS.
During our 25th anniversary, United Bank introduced the Silver Money Market account. We promised higher rates, and as you can see, we delivered. So if you're still earning a lower rate at your bank, why not switch to United, where we'll pay you a special rate of 11% on new deposits for 30 days. 11% now, but more important, our continuing commitment to pay high rates. United Silver Money Market account. You can bank on it.
If you're interested in earning more than a paycheck, the Century 21 system announces a week of opportunity. Mark your calendar now for career sessions. Find out why we're #1, the best-known professionals in the business. Find out about our Career Track training, one of the most comprehensive programs in real estate. Call the Century 21 office nearest you and make a date with your future.
#1 to wait for you. Century 21.
Don't miss the Century 21 Career Opportunity Week, January 13th through the 19th.
Running smooth and silent, Exxon, Exxon. Running strong and sure, Exxon, Exxon. Running smooth and easy, running with the Tiger.
Across America, people count on Exxon Extra, our highest octane unleaded premium. It quiets knocks and pings for smooth performance.
Sports with Fred Khalil, weekends at 6 and 10 on News Center 10.
Well, there was one touchdown scored in the game, that by Bear quarterback Jim McMahon. One thing is sure, McMahon is great television, isn't he? And Tony Dorsett, what do you think of him as a competitor?
Well, he's probably one of the toughest competitors in the National Football League right now. He's a quarterback with somewhat of an unusual personality. But for him to take control there in the first series and go in and score a touchdown, no doubt was a big confidence builder for himself.
Bud, what'd you think about his score here?
I think he's the dominant player in the first half. There's no question about it. His running, his handling of the team, his throwing the ball, playing in this weather, he's the outstanding player of the first half.
Now, defensively, I thought there was a big moment, Bud. It was 3rd and 1. You knew the Rams were going to come with Eric Dickerson. What happened? Didn't they block everybody?
Well, you don't block Singletary on the Bears defense. The one thing they try to do, and you see right here, Singletary come up, meeting Dickerson, holding him away from the first down. He's their dominant player defensively, and their defenses are set up so that you can't block Singletary.
Now, by moving Fensick up so often, aren't they vulnerable to the long pass?
Well, they were, and you've noticed the Rams went to an audible, tried to get the ball down the middle, didn't get it on target, however. The Bears tease you a little bit with that, too. You'll see them line up there, then they'll jump one of their safeties back.
All right, Tony, let's take a look at that last play again in the closing moments of the first half, and what should they have done here?
I think they should have been in like a 2-minute offense. They should have had a hurry-up offense formation so they could have either got to the line, called a play quick, or thrown out of bounds, or I'm surprised they didn't even call a timeout either.
All right, well, let's go to Irv Cross. He's been down getting some reaction from the Bears. Irv?
There's a lot of reaction down there, a little confusion right now. The Bears are going out to the field, and the Ram coach just walked across the front of Brent. But, you know, the Bears along the sidelines were amazed that the Rams didn't stop the clock. They had one timeout, at least one timeout, going into that series. Could have stopped the clock, set up for a field goal. Of course, they felt they dodged a bullet not having that field goal go on the scoreboard. 30 minutes left for their next championship. They're looking forward to it. Brent.
All right, Irv, thank you. And, of course, Bud Grant and Tony Dorsett will be along at our post-game show. And right now, let's go upstairs to Pat Summerall. Pat?
All right, Brent, thank you very much. Who would have thought until the last seconds of the first half that Jim McMahon would have more rushing yards than Eric Dickerson? As you said, he's certainly been the dominant player so far in this game. John Madden's moved over to the chalkboard. You remember that McMahon scrambled for the first touchdown, the only touchdown, in fact. Let's go take a look with John as to how it was accomplished.
Well, what happens with McMahon, he's always going to come back, and then he's looking for a receiver. But if he doesn't see it, and he gets any kind of lane, he's going to run in that lane. Now watch what happens here. We see the motion. McMahon comes back. The Rams get caught in there. Right here now he sees a lane. You see here, this is a lane that McMahon sees. So he's going to start in here. That's what the Rams can't give him the rest of this game. You see, now he gets in there, he gets a hole, he picks up a blocker in Dennis Gentry, gets a block on Johnny Johnson, and McMahon dives into the end zone. So I think after that one, that was a big one. Then they gave him a couple others. But I think they finally get it straightened out. What we get is an outside rush here. The nose tackle goes this way. Now on this play, the lane for McMahon is going to be here. Now watch how it happens. See, he's going to start back to pass. The nose tackle goes right. The end and linebacker outside. Right here we stop. We see he has a lane. Right here, the lane that is caused here. Now he takes over the ball. This time, he's going to dive feet first, for about 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 yards. But I think the Rams have to clog up those lanes or holes, or have someone spy and fill those lanes.
Both teams back on the field. The Bears leading 10-0 at the half of the NFC Championship game. The winner to the Super Bowl.
To learn more about professional football, the Library of Congress suggests these books. The New Thinking Man's Guide to Professional Football by Paul Zimmerman. What a Game They Played by Richard Whittingham. These and other interesting books are waiting for you at your local libraries and bookstores. Visit them, and they'll be happy to help you read more about it.
Hello, I'm Leona, your automatic teller. Can I help you with a student loan?
No, a car loan, Leona. Thanks, Father.
A home improvement loan.
Hey,
An auto loan?
it's a General Motors car.
Between beats, state your name, address, social security number, present, and 3 prior employers between beats.
Charles Krause, 2128 Cent.
Begin again.
Charles Krause. No, Charles Krause.
Begin again.
Charles Krause.
Don't get hassled when you finance a new car or truck at GMAC Financing, only at your GM dealer.
Is there someone live I could talk with around
Do we
here?
have one of our calendars? This is a farm calendar. We also have what they call a spring calendar. If I can only find that on me.
Introducing an incredible advance in Gillette shaving smoothness. New Atra Plus. The Plus is this unique white strip that releases lubricants as you shave. You never felt anything smoother. New Atra Plus by Gillette, the essence of shaving.
Is sponsored by GTE Sprint. When you call Sprint, you've got the future on the line. And by Today's Chevrolet, who invite you to live the style, performance, and fun of Chevrolet in '86.
Ready to go with the second half, but before, let's go back and look at the end of the first half.
You know, I don't think it was not taking a timeout. I think it was this time here. See, it was 30 when the ball was down. Now they're taking the time to huddle up. Now they're taking off. This is where I think they lost it there. They didn't need to huddle up. They should have been on the line of scrimmage. They can save their timeout, but look, it started at 30. It's all the way down to 12, 11, and the ball isn't even snapped yet. The ball doesn't get snapped until 5. You see, and that's what cost them. Not the play, not taking the time out. I think what cost him was huddling up.
It could turn out to cost them dearly. The Bears lead 10-0. Lansford set to kick it off in the direction of Wooly Golf and Dennis Gentry, both of whom are explosive. Funny-looking kick in the direction of Gentry. Handles it at the 1. Is down at about the 23 in the arms of Vince Newsom, and a fight breaks out immediately. I don't suppose you could really call it a fight.
Well, that's not over yet. May turn into one.
A lot of pushing and shoving and perhaps even some profanity.
2-4.
Calvin Thomas was the Bear involved, and Sean Miller was the Ram involved.
And the two guys walking off there.
First down, Bears. Their own 24. They lead it 10-0. Rams had 68 yards total offense in the first half. The Bears 152. I didn't hear what Jim Tunney, the official, said just now, but the things have been held up for just a minute. Not sure the 30-second clock is working. And that is the problem. It is not working.
Maybe it froze. Things, you know, the wind gets to it, the cold weather gets to it, things just go boom, and they have what they call power pops.
The chill factor got to it. McMahon coming out throwing as he began the game. Complete to Moorhead, as he did to begin the game. Collins on the stop, a gain of 8. The Bears are 22-1 since 1984 when they were leading at the halftime. There was one exception to that.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that, the one was the Rams. The only time out of those 23 games that they've led at halftime and lost to the Rams.
That was last year in Anaheim. Back to Peyton. Peyton fumbles, goes out of bounds. It'll belong to the Bears. He's the last man who had possession. He picked up 8.
Hey, some strange things have happened to Walter Payton. This hasn't been one of his better days. He's had a little luck with him, but that's the second time that he's fumbled. We remember he dropped a pass early. I think Walter Payton, and for all his years of experience, he's still a little jittery over all this stuff. He said he was so excited this week that he couldn't even sit down or anything. He was just going to run in place all week.
Only he could do that. McMahon to throw on first down again. Puts it out to Peyton. No drop this time. Collins tripped him up. A gain of 6. Bears took the opening kickoff, and McMahon scrambled in for a touchdown. Then they got a field goal by Butler, and since then, that Ram defense has put a clamp on them.
That's what I think. I think at that point, the Rams kind of took over. I think they were a little unsettled. The Bears had things going early, and the Rams, about that point, after that second score, they kind of took and got the control back.
Suey this time. About 2 short of the first down. Here's Dieter Brock over on the Ram bench, loosening up.
Well, you know, he has that glove on the left hand. He tore a tendon in his ring finger on the left hand last week. Luckily, of course, he doesn't throw with that hand, nor does he take the ball. He puts, when he gets the snap from the center, his right hand is the top hand, and that takes the pressure of it.
Ball was placed by the official, and then it was blown away.
Well, the wind almost gained a first down for the Bears. Almost blew it. It did blow it to a first down.
And they were still in the huddle. They need a yard and a half, and they give it to Suey. He won't get it. Reggie Doss was the first man there. DeJournay comes to join him.
I'll tell you, DeJournay is the guy that called that play. Watch him on Hilgenberg here, number 70. You see, he takes Hilgenberg. He gets penetration right there. Now, he gets Suey at first. He slows him up, and then Reggie Doss is coming in from the outside. But Charles DeJournay, the nose tackle, got penetration. Anytime you run against a 3-man line, you got to get the nose tackle. If you stop the run, it's usually the nose tackle somehow involved.
DeJournay is a man who played in the World Football League. Johnny Johnson back deep along with Leroy Irvin.
I remember when DeJournay was at San Jose State. I remember when he was with the San Diego Chargers.
Buford gets off a good kick. Johnson lets it bounce, and it goes out of bounds at about the 23. And again, there's a little pushing and shoving between Vince Evans and Tim Reitman. The punt, Vince Newsom involved. They only get 28 yards out of the kick. It looked good in the beginning.
That thing works like a Chevy truck. But me and my buddies want to get away on a rough, tough expedition. What works for us is my rough, tough sport truck, Chevy S10 Maxi Cab. It's got room for all our survival gear, and more room inside than any compact pickup ever. So bring on the wild, bring on the mud. There's nothing like roughing it. Hey, if it doesn't fit my S10, it doesn't fit my life.
Now get 7.9 financing on new two-wheel drive S10 pickups and maxi cabs.
Well, another long-distance bill. A bill should be an important way for a business to collect information. But if it's an AT&T bill, it might only collect dust. Fortunately, there's the billing solution from GTE Sprint. Now you can break down spending by client, location, department, or individual. So you can put that information to work, not into storage. When you got Sprint, you got the future on the line.
Today's Equitable is more than insurance. We're one of America's top real estate investors. Today's Equitable, your key to financial opportunity. We're also America's leading manager of pension and retirement funds. Today's Equitable, your key to financial opportunity. Our 9,000 agents can help bring you financial security. What we do for major corporations, we can do for you. Your key to financial opportunity.
There's this year's genius, Buddy Ryan, the defensive coordinator of the Bears. John, you and I were talking a minute ago. This is our 5th Bear game this year, and we haven't seen anyone score a touchdown against them yet.
Oh, and I think that's the thing. You know, and Buddy Ryan will be the first guy to say, I mean, he has this 46 defense, and it's all this and that, but the guys that make the defense are the guys we're seeing here, the players. I mean, anyone can play 46 and not shut out people the way we've seen. But these guys are good players.
They're tremendous athletes. Brock retreats. Gives it to Dickerson. It's the same play that ended the first half. 6-yard gain. Dickerson, we were talking with him the other day. He said, they don't even throw me the ball. They don't have any patterns.
He said for this game, he doesn't have any pass patterns. He was probably just like a fourth dairy guy. You know, there was Bacon or supposed to be around there. I think he caught that with one hand, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Probably that scuba sleeve he has on got it.
Second and 4.
To the scuba sleeve, I think.
They've kept him under control, however. Dickerson got a good block. It's for Ellard. And it's out of bounds. Dickerson got a good pickup.
I'll tell you, it was against Richard Dent, too. You know, he wasn't blocking a defensive back or a linebacker. Watch 95. There's Richard Dent. He's coming. Then he sees Dickerson. Dickerson, I have to take that guy. Oh, well, I'll tell you, he stayed in there. He squared, bent the knees a little, threw the right elbow at the end.
Hung with him pretty good, didn't he?
He hung in there good. I'll tell you, that had to be a shock to Dickerson. You look, you know, you bend over, square up, knees bent, eyes up, open. Here comes Dent. Whoop.
They need 4 for a first down. Dickerson and Redden in the backfield. Ellard in motion. Brock. Incomplete. And now here comes the flag. Richardson grabbed Ellard before the ball got there.
And that's going to be against the Bears. That'll give the Rams the ball right there. They're at the 48-yard line. Watch him right here. We see Mike Richardson. He's grabbing it. He gets his shoulder. He gets that right and left hand on Henry Ellard before the ball gets there. That was right out in front. Everyone saw that one.
That's a Ram first down at the 48. Excuse me, John.
You know what? Mike Richardson's nickname is L.A. L.A. because he's from Southern California. So L.A.'s playing L.A.
Redden and Dickerson. This is Eric Dickerson. He breaks 1 or 2 tackles. Ball's on the ground. And Richardson, who was just called, gets the fumble recovery. That's the second one for Dickerson.
I think on that play, Otis Wilson, number 55, stripped Dickerson. Buddy Ryan, the defense coordinator, said, we're going to get 3 fumbles. Watch 55 here. Takes on the guard, Kent Hill. Then he works back. Now watch him come back. And watch that right hand go in and knock that ball out. He grabbed that right hand, pulled it into the elbow, and that knocked the ball out of Dickerson. In fact, Otis Wilson told us that he was going to get 3 fumbles. He said Dickerson will fumble 3 times tomorrow.
McMahon back to throw. Fires outside to Payton. Payton gets away from one and then steps out of bounds. It was Wilcher. There's Otis Wilson.
He's still celebrating. He said he could tell the guy, you know, I took on the guy. Kent Hill came, he blocked me. I took on him. Dickerson got in. It was that gap play. Worked back in and grabbed his arm.
Now look at that turnover ratio. Plus 23 in their 12 wins. Minus 8 in their 5 losses. You could do that to just about any team. McMahon back to throw again. Now almost flushed out of the pocket. Had to throw it away. Under heavy pressure again from the Ram rush. Intended for Reitman.
Coverage to Owen. Hey, one thing about this Ram defense is they're always playing a zone. They always have their underneath guys in the right spots, their deep guys in the right spots. And if you're going to hit them, you have to be right in those lanes and areas. You're not going to have guys running wide open against this Ram defense.
They have their pass rush group in there. The Bears have Marjoram in now as a wide receiver. And McKinnon is out. That's Gentry in motion. McMahon with a blitz coming. Completes it to Galt. And that'll be enough for a Bear first down. McMahon is down. Slow getting up at least.
I tell you, he threw that right between Leroy Irvin and Vince Newsom. You know, McMahon still has bad knees, you know, and every time he goes down, I'm sure that everyone's thinking about that. I mean, he's had shoulder injuries and kidney injuries and everything, but he still has bad knees. But watch this zip. 2 defenders. There's Irvin, there's Newsom, and he hit that ball zoom right between those 2 guys. And look what Collins does to him after he throws the ball. Boy, that jiggled that whole body. I mean, that put that spine in a different area.
It's one you'll remember. He gives it back to Payton. Payton's going to be trapped for a loss and out of bounds. Leroy Irvin. The Ram defense was right there. A loss of 4.
That's the thing with a defense or a defensive coach. You know, when you have a guy double and you have him inside out and the quarterback still gets that ball in there, you wonder, what do you have to do?
Clock is stopped with 9:32 left to play in the 3rd quarter. By the way, the 30-second clock now is operating. It's been fixed. There she goes. Marjoram split wide to the right. Suey said something to Payton that made him move. The pitch is back to Suey, and he does not very much. There wasn't much there. Vince Newsom. And the pushing and shoving continues.
Just about every play we're getting something going here now. There's Dennis McKinnon going in. It looks like, you know, he's had some knee problems all year, and he only practices 1 or 2 days a week and comes out and plays in the game. But I'll tell you, he's the tough guy of this team. He's the guy that catches all the inside passes. He's the guy that does the blocking for the sweeps. He does things that you don't see wide receivers doing much anymore.
And he enjoys doing it. 3rd and 13.
And his coach, Mike Ditka, enjoys talking about it.
Marjoram in motion. Handoff. Up the middle is Suey. Gentry, I beg your pardon. Suey was out. There was Gentry who picked up the 8 yards. This might be close enough for Butler.
What they're trying to do is make them think pass and then pop that trap in there to Gentry. This is a big decision now for Mike Ditka. It's 4th down. You go for the field goal. It'd be a 52-yard field goal. Do you punt? Do or do you go for it on 4th down? They're going for it on 4th down.
4th and 6.
See what John Robinson is yelling to his defense. Watch out for him with that cadence to try and draw you offside. McMahon says, I don't think we fooled him. We better take time out and talk this one over because we're 4th and 6, and that 30-second clock was down to 3.
On the field.
So, 7:55 remain in the third quarter.
You finally get the answer, and now you can't wait to tell someone. Here at Hewlett-Packard, we never stop thinking about how our business computing equipment can be used to solve your company's problems. It's the Hewlett-Packard way of doing things. We're always asking, what if?
I've got it. They need easy access to their database, right? What if we use the personal productivity?
You don't get to the top by looking back. You go for it. With all the power you can muster, all the confidence, all the poise. And you know that when you finally make your move, you're going to go all the way. Cavalier, for people who know exactly where they're going.
And now get 7.9% financing on new Chevy Cavaliers.
Tenneco is a leading oil and gas producer. Tenneco is America's most successful shipyard. Tenneco is the world's leading exhaust system manufacturer. Tenneco is premium fruit, nuts, and vegetables. Tenneco is one of America's largest natural gas pipelines. The Tenneco family, building on quality.
Someone mentioned murder?
Hey, Dad, come on in.
A blind woman could help Harry unravel a murder, but will she live to tell her tale?
Who's there?
June Allison guest stars on Crazy Like a Fox.
Head coach of the Bears, Mike Ditka, 4th year, 2nd consecutive year in the playoffs. Tell me a little bit about his thinking here.
Well, I know what he's thinking. You know, if you punt the ball and it goes into the end zone, they get it on the 20, you only picked up 15 yards. The field goal is 52 yards with a funny wind. You may as well take a shot at it. Your defense is playing well.
They need 6 at least. They put Peyton in motion. McMahon on a sprint out. He can do it. They got Peyton, and they got the first down. The gamble paid off. A gain of 13. They only needed 6.
Hey, that's not a bad combination. You know, let your quarterback take the ball, let him sprint out here, have blockers out in front of him. Now he can run or he can find someone open. Who does he find open but Walter Payton, who knew exactly where the first down marker was, got up beyond it, so when McMahon did see him and hit him, he had the first down.
1st and 10, Bears for the Ram 22. 7:47 left in the third quarter. Here's Peyton, hit behind the line of scrimmage by Reggie Doss and Mike Wilcher for a loss. Here's Kevin Butler, rookie from Georgia, loosening up.
He's wearing Fensick's jacket. Fensick's probably looking around. Where's my jacket? The kicker got your jacket. You know, Reggie Doss has done a good job today in that run.
He sure has. The Ram defense has done a good job.
Really have. They've been very, very solid. They need a big play or a break from their offense.
McMahon again sprints out. Throws for Galt, touchdown. What a great throw from McMahon. Touchdown pass of 22 yards. What a throw from Jim McMahon.
And remember, it all went with Mike Ditka's decision to go for it on 4th down. He could have gone for the field goal. He could have gone for the punt. He
extra point. Bears move in front 17-0.
That was a good pass pattern down there by Willie Gall. He ran what we call a post corner. He starts into the post, then he goes back out to the corner as McMahon rolls. McMahon rolls left as the blockers. What a shot he put in there to Willie Gall. And running to his left and throwing on the left to his run. Let's watch it here. Here's Willie Gall. Here, he's going to start up, start in, and back here. McMahon gets the ball, comes out here on the run, hits him right here. Now watch Gall. You see the motion come out here. Gall starts in. See him come in there. Then he goes back out to the corner. McMahon reads him all the way and zips that touchdown to him. Now what does he do? Shake. Oh, boy. Doink. Give me a one right in the head there. I love it. Can't celebrate.
This crowd doesn't know that. The Bears pitching another shutout. 6:56 left in the third quarter as Butler kicks off. That's Ron Brown, a yard deep in the end zone. And now around to the outside. And with that great speed, Brown stays on his feet and spins outside the 40 to the 42 before Jim Morrissey brings him down. A 45-yard kickoff return by Ron Brown.
Hey, Willie Gall was the safety man. He was the guy that was supposed to tackle Ron Brown if he breaks away. Gall was waiting. He was one man away from it, and he finally got blocked. Watch Gall. He's staying there. He's saying, where is he? Where is he? And Norwood Van, number 51, is going to come in. Watch him take Gall. Takes him right out of bounds. Gall gets in a reversal. Says, hey, I'm an offensive guy. Hey, I run fast. I don't fight.
What do you want me to do?
I'll race the guy to the end zone.
Brock retreats. Ooh, Henry Ellard makes the reception. And Wilbur Marshall put a hat on him. A heavy hat.
Yeah, they're going to be barking like dogs out there. Let's listen to that one again.
That hurt up here. Brock gives to Dickerson. Dickerson whirls to the outside and picks up a first down at the Bear 45. Singletary after a gain of 6.
I'm sure he wanted to go for that fourth down play, and I'm sure he wanted to throw that ball in the end zone, and I'm sure he wanted to wear that headband again this week. Last week, he got a letter from the league office that he couldn't wear it, so he wore it. This week they got another, he couldn't do it, so he wore it again. He just changed what was on the front of it.
Here's Peter Brock with time. Pass is picked off by Leslie Frazier. Frazier with the interception. Intended for Ellard. Some sort of a discussion, but it's Bears ball.
No foul on the play.
No foul.
No foul.
Leslie Frazier looked like he was there all the way and comes underneath for the interception. Watch him. He's on Duckworth there. He's running now. Instead of following behind him, look, he takes the interception angle all the way. He got underneath Duckworth, then he was running with him, and he got the reception. The interception. I'll tell you, there's a guy, I think he's one of the reasons for the success of this Bear defense.
Well, you have to have good cornerbacks in order to be able to play that defense.
Well, you leave them out there naked on an island by themselves, those two corners. And if they can't cover man-to-man, you can't play that defense.
McKinnon is back, by the way. He had a bruised leg, but apparently it's okay. Here's Suey straight ahead. Collins on the stop after a gain of 6. Look at that. Think they don't play tough in the second half?
Well, you know, maybe they're the ones that wear you down. I know the Rams thought that they would be able to come in and run and wear this Bear defense down.
Well, they got 2 today.
Otis Wilson there, he's talking about New Orleans already. They got some work here to do before they go down there.
4:40 left in the third quarter. McMahon back to Payton. And Payton is stopped before he gets back to the line of scrimmage by Doug Reed. Refrigerators ordering some more supplies.
What he's doing, yeah, he's saying for the post game, look, when that game's over, I want a good supply in there. We got to refuel this thing. What would the refrigerator be talking about on the phone? I mean, usually they talk about coverages, adjustments. That's Steve McMichael talking to him now. Maybe they're talking about offense. If they get down there, they're going to put him in on the goal line package.
Both of them?
Both refrigerators, you mean?
McMichael.
No, not McMichael.
It's third down. McMahon operates out of the spread. Chased by Peter. Pass is incomplete. No flags, not yet. Emery Moorhead was the intended receiver. Vince Newsom was the Ram defender.
I still say that this Ram team has played very good defense today, but they just can't get a play. They just can't get anything going. Because they've gotten the ball. The defense has gotten the ball back for the offense. They've done some things for them, and they just can't take advantage of it. But as you say, of all the games we've done, we've never seen a team score a touchdown against the Bears. So that's not easy.
We saw the Jets get 2 field goals, but no one else. And no one's gotten in the end zone. Irvin Johnson back deep. Irvin. And there's your penalty marker. Gentry on the stop.
That flag looked like it came right off the Bears bench or the sideline. Wilbur Marshall was running in with the flag. This Bear defense is so excited, can't wait to get out in the field. They're running in before the return's finished.
Here's Buddy Ryan looking on.
Illegal block, number 33, on the return, 10 yards, first down.
Yeah, that was number 33 is Charles White. He's there on Sean Gale, 23. You see, Gale has the position on him, and he can't block him anywhere else, so he just gets that push in the back.
3:40 remaining, third quarter, and the Bears on top, 17-0.
On June 8, 1984, a tornado struck Barneveld, Wisconsin. About the only thing left standing was the water tower.
After the tornado, people said this is the end of a small town. Barneveld said not this small town.
Around here, folks will always get right here when something gets out of hand.
Just thought we can make it, we can rebuild, we can come back, and we have.
A place where people have a sense of pride, and that's what keeps them right here. Where you count on your own, you call it your home, and Miller's the beer. Miller's made the American way, born and brewed in the USA. As proud as the people who are drinking it today.
Miller contains no additives or preservatives. Purity you can see, quality you can taste.
Some towns are held together with nails and wood, but this town's held together with a lot of pride and a lot of family.
Miller's made the American way.
Introducing Nova from today's Chevrolet. Nova, an American-built car equipped for your comfort with dozens of thoughtful details. And a 5-speed overdrive transmission and 4-wheel independent suspension for responsive performance. Nova, it's not just better, it's the best of both worlds. And now get 7.9% financing on new Chevy Nova.
John Madden reveals his picks for the all-Madden team. And Nice, France is the setting for the World Triathlon Championships next weekend on CBS Sports Sunday.
Pat Summerall, John Madden at Soldier Field, Chicago. The Bears lead at 17-0. Look what they've done in the second half this year here at home, 122-19. They've held Eric Dickerson to just 44 yards rushing in 15 carries. Brock back over the head of Tony Hunter. Well over the head.
The refrigerator was close to Brock on that one. The Bears used a different defense there, Pat. They had all three of their linebackers right in the middle behind McMichael and Fridge. Maybe that's what they were telling Perry on the phone. They were saying, look, when you see all those guys behind you, don't worry, that's what we're doing. We've got a whole bunch of guys right behind you.
Second and 10 Rams, their own 23. Brock is back again. Richard Dent, Dan Hampton. Brock started a step up and came down in the arms of Dan Hampton. That's the Bears' first sack of the day.
Yeah, Dan Hampton comes on a stunt. You'll see McMichael here work out. Here's Hampton right here. He crosses, comes in right here, works through a bunch of blockers in here, and then gets to him. Watch him, 99. McMichael's comes, see, loops around. Now he comes up. There's one blocker, two blockers, works right through him, throws Hera aside, and sacks Dieter Brock. He had to go through a lot of guys to get there.
A hard work at sack. Brock out of the pocket. Finally throws it over the head of David Hill. And the Rams once again will have to punt.
When this Bear defense gets its engines going, they can rev them up full speed. They got them revved now.
When they get going, they're pretty tough to stop. Hatcher back to front, standing at his own 4. Or to go. Back deep for the Bears. Good kick. Ortego is hammered at about the 37-yard line by Norwood Fan. 48-yard kick by Hatcher. Bears take over first and 10 at their own 39-yard line. Good kick. 17-0.
A new company has begun, yet it has a 150-year history. It's only a few days old, but it's already the #1 manufacturer of medium and heavy-duty trucks. Although you've never heard of it, it's in the top quarter of the Fortune 500. The company is Navistar International, and while it's just starting to roll, it's already in high gear. Introducing Navistar, the rebirth of International Harvester.
An idea can happen anytime. When you work for Hewlett-Packard, you don't just sell business computing systems, you solve problems. So when you have an idea, you do something about it. You never stop asking, what if?
You know that electronic mail project for the bank? What if we used HP methods?
Try one on. Celebrity Eurosport. Something more from today's Chevrolet. Celebrity Eurosport.
And now get 7.9% financing on new 4-cylinder Chevy Celebrities.
Soldier Field, Chicago. The Bears lead the Rams 17-0. for the NFC Championship. Their last championship, 1963, at Wrigley Field.
You know, when you talk to the Bears and their coaches, they all say it goes back to last year that this thing all started a year ago this time when they lost to the 49ers in San Francisco. They got so close they realized what it was all about, and that loss made this year.
McMahon on a quick count. Coming out of the pocket. And scampers out of bounds.
McMahon carried.
Picked up 3 before he went out of bounds. Couldn't find anybody open.
I think what he's doing is laughing at his own decisions. He made about 3 or 4 of them there. He was going to pass. Watch Mark Bortz come out and block Mike Wilcher, number 54. Watch him see. He makes that block. He takes Wilcher out of there. Now, that opens a lane. Now, McMahon says, I'm going to throw. Nope, I'll run. No, I'll throw. No, I'll throw. No, I'll run. No, I'll go out of bounds. He made about 4 or 5 decisions there.
Calvin Thomas has replaced Suey. That's McKinnon, motion man. This is Peyton. Peyton stopped by Jim Collins after a pickup of about 3. Given 4. About 2 shy of the first down.
You talk about a guy that, you know, over the years has done so many things and worked and been the, you know, I mean, when the Bears have lost, when they've been a bad team, this guy's gaining over 1,000 yards, he's in Pro Bowls, but never got the one thing that they all want. That's a championship.
They have checked him pretty well today. Taking him a couple of pass receptions. Here's Thomas. And now the Bears will have to punt. Reggie Doss again made the play.
I know what McMahon's thinking there. He's thinking, you know, we ran that roll to the right side on 4th down. We got it. We ran it to the left for a touchdown. Why didn't we run it there on 3rd down and we wouldn't be punting now? I know he's thinking that.
Maury Buford back to punt, and Johnson and Irvin back deep for the Rams. Buford from his 30. That one will stay up there a while. It looks like the wind is, well, it had some effect, but it winds up taking that bare bounce again. Inside the 20. Down by Cliff Thrift. Next Sunday, don't forget the season's premiere of CBS Sports Sunday. And it features the 1985 All-Madden football team in the World Triathlon Championships. All begins at 4:30 Eastern Time here on CBS. John and I will be somewhere to announce his All-Madden team.
The only thing I can guarantee is you won't confuse those two. The guys on the team won't have ever run a triathlon. Because they'd have to go, they'd run into something before they'd go that far to do any of those other things.
Again, confusion. The Rams center wound up with the ball, and there come the penalty flags.
That was a late flag. That had to be something way after the play.
Defense, number 99. 5 yards, still 1st down.
Yeah, but how come the flag came out so late? Encroachment, that's number 99, and that happens well before the play. Now he starts, now he goes. Now the flag comes way late on that one. I mean, encroachment is something you do before the ball's
early. 1st and 5. Rams have the ball their own 23. Less than a minute left, 3rd quarter. Brock back to throw. Going deep for Duckworth. And Frazier almost picked it off.
And Refrigerator almost buried Dieter Brock right here at Soldier Field. Well, I'll tell you, did he get him after he threw the ball? Oh, boy, that is a big load. Watch the Fridge here. He comes in here when Brock throws the ball. He puts him right in on the curve. Now, that had to be a big deal coming on. You watch him here, he throws it. There's a Refrigerator right there. Now, just him landing at the end on you. I mean, Yeah, that's like, you know, getting caught under a truck or something.
Who knows how much he weighs? He admits to 308. Here's Barry Redden. First carry for him, and it doesn't get much as Dan Hampton makes the stop. That's the formation they use when they run their option play.
And that was the option play there. That was going to be an option. That's why Redden carried it for the first time. It's set up. We'll see Redden come here with the ball. Now Dickerson is trailing here. Redden's going to try an option right on this guy. If he comes, then he'd pitch. If not, he's going to run it. The end guy here is Otis Wilson. Now watch him. See the guard pulls. He takes a hand off. Otis Wilson comes right now. Dickerson was behind him. He didn't even have a chance to try and run the option. See Dickerson coming into it.
That's the end of the third quarter. No flag. That's just the end of the third quarter with the score. The Bears 17, the Rams nothing. We now pause for a word from your local station.
This is CBS.
Friends, I'm sure you're all familiar with the 1985 Honda. You thought it was great, and you're right. But wait till you see the 86. Bigger, better, more luxurious than ever before. And you can test drive one right now at Bob Simon's Pontiac Honda. We have a fine selection of most models, road ready for immediate delivery. And you know this, at Bob Simon's, the price is always right. Come see us. Bob Simon's Pontiac Honda. We're right on the price, right on the corner, North 7th Street in Highland.
Ah, your data transport system. Nothing controls the pulse of your company like it. If it's outdated, it can foul up communications, lose transmissions, or go down, leaving employees playing instead of producing. That's why Mountain Bell introduces Digicom, a digital transport system that makes your company more productive by transmitting high-speed data with 99.9% accuracy. Digicom, when your data transport system is working, so is your company.
Healthcare today can become a chaotic collection of many people playing many different parts without the proper direction. That's why today's Blue Cross and Blue Shield is dedicated to bringing all of the elements together to create a coordinated system of managed healthcare, to provide the best possible care and yet hold costs down. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Arizona. Total healthcare in perfect harmony.
Sports with Fred Khalil, weekends at 6 and 10 on News Center 10.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Miller Beer. Miller made the American way since 1855. Toyota, who reminds you to get more from life. Buckle up. Who could ask for anything more? And by Hewlett-Packard, the people who turn your business computing problem into a business computing solution.
1 quarter to go, with the Bears leading the Rams in the NFC Championship game 17-0. Ram ball their own 25, 3rd and 3. Bears had a blitz going. Pass was intended for Ellard. Brock had no chance to set up. Marshall was coming. William Perry was close.
I'll tell you, he was close. You know, a lot of people think the offensive people say, well, you know, Perry really isn't a good defensive player. He is a good defensive player. He's big. He handles that middle. And as Mike Ditka says, you watch a lot of things happen around him. And they do. He's always getting penetration.
Hatcher standing back at his own 10. Keith Ortego back at the Bear 40. Ortego waving, get away from it. It finally bounces out of bounds. Bears take over.
You know what I was talking about, Pat? Watch this. Here's Fred. He's going against Ken Hill here. But watch how he takes it. And he takes a pile and just knocks it back. Then a lot of things can happen on the other side of that. But watch him go as he's here. He has a good take on his stance. Now watch him just take Hill. Just push it. Push, 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 push. Push another guy. Dickerson trying to get him. But see how piles and stuff happen around him. I mean, he gets into that backfield.
Big William Perry. 300 plus.
Yeah, when he gets it going one way, if you're the other way, it's hard to stop it.
He's a good athlete. Reitman in motion, and McMahon gives to Payton, who slips down. Picked up maybe a yard. That was an interesting story. Dale Hatcher, the Ram punter, went to Clemson with William Perry and was telling us what a good diver he is.
Yeah, I guess they have a good swimming and diving team at Clemson, and when Perry would go out to dive, students and people would come from all over to watch him. And he would hit that board and darn near snap it down. Then when he hit the water, it would all come up over him, and people would just marvel. The diving coach said he could have made the team as a diver.
Right. And he's a good basketball player. Here's McMahon back to throw. Down he goes for the third time of the day by Doug Reed. 14:02 left to play. 1 quarter away from the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know if McMahon is hurt or not. He's limping around. Maybe that could just be the result of what happens over the years, Gene. But he gets hit. He's trying to spin out. You see, and he gets that left leg twisted. He got up limping. I think he's shaking it off. That's the one that was his bad one. That's the one that he has the big brace on.
Neither one of them, neither knee is really 100% though.
But the left one's his real bad one. He calls that his bionic knee.
Back to throw again. And now he got the screen pass out to Payton. Payton has not much room to roam. Eckern out there along with Leroy Irvin to make the stop. McMahon upset with himself, or perhaps didn't like that selection of plays.
I'll guarantee you that's what it was. He didn't like that play call. And he said, what the heck we calling that for on 3rd and long? You know, he and Mike Ditka went for, remember that period of time? They went for 1 month and didn't talk to each other. Not a word was exchanged between the two. I'll bet you right now that he's not. See, he goes and talks to guys like linemen, gets close to the heater, talks to Richard Dent, defensive guys.
Line drive kick. Goes out of bounds, and the Rams will take over. But again, they have a long way to go. They'll start from their own 29-yard line. A 47-yard punt by Buford. Ditka says he thinks half of the things that McMahon does are just to aggravate him. 17-0 they lead.
There's a lot of paperwork here. There's always paperwork when you buy a house. First one says that you lose the house if you don't make your payments. You probably don't want to think about that, but you do have to sign it. The next says the property is insured for the amount of the note, and you sign that in the lower left corner. This pretty much says that nobody's got a gun to your head, that you're entering this agreement freely. Next is the house is free of termites. Last one says the house will be your primary residence and that you won't be relying on rental income to make the payments. I hope you brought your checkbook. This is the fun part. I say that all the time, though most people don't think so.
You're about to see an unusual race. 3 European performance sedans against the Toyota Cressida.
Go get him, Jay.
The Cressida is a luxury car with limousine style, comfort, and features. And the Cressida's independent suspension and electronically fuel-injected twin-cam 6 fits right in with its European counterparts. The Toyota Cressida. It's up with the best of them in every way but one. Price.
Did we win, James? By about $15,000, sir.
Who could ask for anything more? Toyota.
That's a friend of yours, John.
There's Bill Murray. I remember when that hat he's wearing. I have no idea where he got it, but I think that's an old football helmet. That's the way they used to wear it. Remember, they were like leather helmets, and then they would roll them up and put them in their back pockets when they weren't playing. Bill Murray would wear that. He's down there coaching. He's probably taking credit for that call, that touchdown call, that roll left, post corner.
Ought to be flying an airplane with 2 wings. Here's Dickerson. There's nothing there for him. He only got a couple yards. Singletary again, the first man there. He got 3. Finsick with an assist.
You know, guys like Bill Murray were Chicago Bear fans for years, you know, when they always had it defended. I mean, they were Cubs fans and Bear fans, and, oh, you're from Chicago, they laugh at him. Now that they're winning, Bill Murray's out there in the sideline. I wonder how he got down there anyway.
He wore that hat.
I know, the league office won't like that, and they won't like McMahon's headband, but they aren't going to like that either.
2nd and 7 it is. This is Hunter moving, and Brock back to throw. They get it outside to Hunter, and nobody's even close. Tony Hunter out to about the 47. Durison tripped him up after a gain of 15.
I'm surprised Tony Hunter cut back to the inside because there was no one on the outside. He caught the ball. There was no one at all out there, and it looks like he cuts back in. Here he is in motion. When he comes out here, no one covers him, and he turns the ball up. But then he turned it back in. Watch him. He comes in motion, fakes the block, comes out here. There's no one out here at all. Now, why he just didn't stay out here in the sideline? He cut back into double D. David Durison.
On first down, they pitch back to Dickerson. Dickerson tries to find some room, and there's just nothing there. Otis Wilson chased him out of bounds. They have kept Eric Dickerson, the great Eric Dickerson, under control.
Well, you know, the last 2 times they played, or both times, Eric Dickerson gained over 100 yards on this team. Of course, you know what he did last week, that 248. That's a full day's work. And that's what the Rams had planned to do today. They wanted to do the same type of thing. Carry the ball 40 times, wear them down, wear them down, wear them down. But I think the Bears defense has been doing the wearing down.
11 minutes and 13 seconds left to play. They fake to Dickerson. Throw outside to Brown. And he dropped it. Trying to set up this quick screen to the speed.
That was one of the things the Rams put in for this game, that, you know, the quick screen, the type of stuff that wouldn't be bothered by the wind, where you could get it to your fast guys out in front. Of course, that plan didn't work when you dropped the ball, but the idea was to get the ball out quickly to Ron Brown, get blockers in front of him, and him going down the field.
3rd down and 11.
You know, could you see Perry, though, wearing that bathing suit that those divers wear, like Louganis, Greg Louganis, those little Speedo bikini deals?
Somehow, I can't imagine it would be little. Brown in motion. Brock under pressure. Gets away from a couple, but not all. Perry finally gets there. 2nd sack of Dieter Brock. Again, the Rams will have to punt. Ortego standing back at the 22-yard line. This is the 9th punt. And it goes out of bounds. Beg your pardon, the 7th punt.
You know, we always talk about stunts. Let's watch one. Here's Perry. This is how they got there. He goes first. Hampton, he comes second across. Now, Hampton gets there first. Dieter Brock has to get, and then Perry falls on him. Watch the 2 guys cross. See Refridge go first. Hampton comes around. Hampton's free. He makes Dieter Brock put the ball down, spin around. Now, here comes the refrigerator and a whole bunch of other guys. Holy moly.
Wilbur Marshall, the refrigerator. Full package.
They all met right at number 5.
10:40 left to play. Peyton gets the carry. Chase, Leroy Irvin. After a pickup of just a couple. Mike Wilshire.
You know, all the hoopla around this game about the game between, you know, Dickerson on one side, Peyton on the other, then the 2 great running, but it really hasn't turned into that.
No, it hasn't. Both of them have been checked.
Both defenses have done a good job of checking them. You know, they both went in. If that's the thing they had to do, they've done that part of it well. I think the difference here is Jim McMahon.
Few snow flurries are starting to appear. The clock now shows less than 10 minutes. Second down and 9. Meisner, who leaps into the Bear backfield. Flags are down.
Greg Meisner, the nose tackle, he has a call. If he thinks it's pass, he yells, turkey, turkey, turkey. Run, he yells, rabbit, rabbit, rabbit.
He says, 6 yards.
He didn't have any calls when to start the play, though.
He called a rabbit for himself and started to run.
But if he started, Hilgenberg didn't move the ball. He just started. He grabbed McMahon there. McMahon said, no, no, no. Peyton goes over to help McMahon, hold McMahon up, and grab Meisner off. I would like to hear that conversation between those three guys.
Perhaps you can see some of those snow flurries, which have just started to appear.
I think it's only fitting. The championship game in Chicago, there should be some snow.
I agree. McMahon back to Peyton. He is met right at the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up a third down situation. Jeter was the first man in white to hit him.
Yeah, as I said before, that's one thing. You know, the Rams really did a good job of shutting down that running game. We see Gary Jeter, he takes an inside rip. He comes inside a covert, rips him with his right hand, and he's the guy that gets the penetration and the first guy there.
This is one of the few places that they cheer bad weather.
Yeah, but it should. I mean, the elements owe it to Chicago to be here today. Snow should be here today. You have to show up.
It's Peyton again, and he did not get the first down, and the Bears will have to punt again. They lead 17-0. There is our cameraman on the opposite side of the field.
Hey, he's way up on top. I mean, you talk about elements. There's a man in the elements.
It's our buddy Herman Lang. He spent a lot of years in blimps and stuff like that. It's okay with him. He doesn't care.
No. These guys don't either. But I think this game has everything. I mean, you know, Chicago and the Bears and Soldier Field and monsters and big guys and tough and guys in short sleeves and snow and everything. The only thing wrong is it got all that stuff and artificial turf.
Too bad we can't pick the All-Madden team today. Bears batted out of bounds. They were hoping for a roughing the kicker call against the Rams. They didn't get it. Punt was 26 yards. The Rams take over. They just haven't been able to get anything going on offense. 7:51 left to play. The Bears lead it 17-0.
Looking for something more in a car, but the cost of keeping it on the road hangs over it like a dark cloud? Introducing a ray of sunshine. The 1986 Toyota Tercel. It has the lowest operating cost of any car in America. It's Toyota's lowest priced car. It has more room than any subcompact and front-wheel drive. The Toyota Tercel. You won't get soaked.
Look at that for anything more. Toyota. Where I come from, folks stand proud and tall. You know they're always sincere. It's where your word is your word. A friend's a friend, and Miller's the beer. Miller's made the American way. Born and brewed in the USA.
Miller beer contains no additives, no preservatives.
Miller's made the American way.
Here at Hewlett-Packard, we believe that the best way to solve your business computing problem is to make it our problem. Because we know that whatever system we design for your company, we're going to live with it too. We never stop asking, what if?
Wait a minute. They have this incredible backlog of data requests.
You're right. What if we used the 3,000?
The NBA's premier point guards will be matched when Magic Johnson and the world champion Lakers visit Isaiah Thomas and the Pistons next Sunday on CBS Sports.
there is our location. They're saying the dream is over. The wait is over. The dream came true. And you can see the snow down in front of us. It's not over yet, but there's 7:51 left to play, and the Bears lead at 17-0. Think he knows what the score is? Back goes Dieter Brock under pressure. Intended for Henry Allard, incomplete. Richardson was with it. Everybody in this crowd just roaring and looking with anticipation. Well, not everybody's roaring.
Or not everybody's looking.
Second and 10 Rams. They have it at their own 33. It's been a long wait for these Bear fans. Guys like Butkus and Sayers who never made it. This game's for them. That's Barry Redden over the left side. And the guy who just made the tackle went through a lot of years of frustration here, too. Gary Fensick. 8 dark years when there were no playoffs. And he and his buddy Doug Plank, after whom the 46th defense was named.
I'll tell you, there's a real contradiction in Gary Fensick. I mean, here's a guy, you know, smooth, nice guy, good-looking guy, sweet guy, Mr. Clean, graduate of Yale University. But I tell you, when you get that, well, he gets that look in his eye, and he's a Jekyll and Hyde. He's a different guy.
Brock has the ball batted straight up in the air. Nobody can see it. Steve McMichael had a shot at it, and he had a touchdown if he had come up with it. They just couldn't find it way up in the air.
Tell you, Steve McMichael is a guy that's been playing this last part of the season on just guts. Watch him here. He has a bad knee. He's going to have surgery after the season. He has, you know, foreign particles in there. Looks like it hit Duerson right in the face. Bounced up. McMichael's going to, I got it, dropped it. And his guys are giving, there's Hampton saying, oh, you had it.
Duerson is back deep for the Bears this time. Going to let Hatcher's punt bounce, and it goes out of bounds at about the 11. And 6:48 now left to play. Don't forget next Saturday an NCAA college doubleheader. Ohio State against Boston College, or Kentucky against the Florida Gators, live at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. That's the first game. Then the doubleheader will have Syracuse against Louisville or Arizona against Miami. Check your local listing for the starting time. The snow continues, and the crowd continues to yell, and the Bears lead it. And it looks like they're headed for New Orleans.
I think they head first for Champaign, Illinois. I think they're going to work this first week at the University of Illinois and go down to New Orleans.
McMahon gives to Peyton. Peyton finds very little running room. It's been that way all day. The leader of the defense, Samurai, Mike Singletary.
Well, yeah, you're talking about different personalities. He's the same type of guy. You see him off the field. He has the glasses, very articulate, very nice guy, soft-spoken. You see him on the field, he's wild. He's wild.
Got the button-down collar, the tie.
Yeah, he'll wear a striped suit on you.
Carry a briefcase.
Boy, but I'll tell you, he could change from that briefcase to a look in his eye.
Second and 10 at the 11. And McMahon's going to go to work. He does. Intended for Reitman. Too far in front.
Hey, there's another guy that's having a good game today, Jimbo Covert. Jim Covert, number 74. You know, he's had it every game that we've seen. Last week it was against Leonard Marshall, and he's had it against Jeff Cote. He's had it against all those guys. He's the captain of this Bear offense.
He's another of those that was drafted in 1983.
Yeah, that's quite a tribute, you know, for a guy just to be in his third year, be in the Pro Bowl, and be the captain.
McMahon will operate this time out of the spread. Snowing a little harder. Dennis Gentry was the ball carrier. And now the Bears again will have to punt as Jim Collins made the tackle. Get this.
There's the only guy I've said that's on the All-Madden team is Hampton. He got the worst-looking hands. He got a left finger. He was showing me the other night, you know, that he can't bend and has grafts and stuff in it. So if they go to the Super Bowl, he's going to have him measure that finger, get the ring for that left ugly finger, and then have it melted down and put it on his right. You get a lot more gold that way.
That finger of his looks like an elbow.
Yeah, that's what these guys think about. That's how they think. They got elbows for fingers.
Buford gets it off the side of his foot. The Rams have trouble handling, and Johnson gets it out of bounds in their territory at about the 47. 37-yard punt, 4-yard return. 5:08 now left to play. 17-0 Bears.
Giving that extra effort makes winners. Be All You Can Be, sponsored by the U.S. Army. An inspiration in Chicago's drive to the NFC title game has been the play of number 9 quarterback Jim McMahon. The Bears pride themselves on toughness, and the resourceful McMahon complements that feeling. His willingness to pay any price to move the football even extends to being a receiver on the Bears' halfback option. By unselfishly going beyond the normal duties of a quarterback, Jim McMahon is the best he can be.
Alpha team, aggressor tank spotted.
In a battle drill, you need horsepower, firepower, people power. That's teamwork.
Moving tank, back front, 2,000.
This team uses a computer, thermal sight, laser rangefinder.
Fire!
Yeah. When we win, the whole tank wins. The whole team wins. Not just one person.
Find your future in the Army.
Snow continues to fall. It's a little bit harder now. This, appropriately enough, is bare weather. This is really what they were hoping for.
They like to do that, those linemen, you know, get out there, snow, cold, windy, and get those shirt sleeves, you know, roll the sleeves up, get those big arms hanging out there. They got them all pumped up, you know, big old arms on them. But let's see if you can see those fingers. Those are bad-looking hands. I mean, he bends his hand, and only a couple of things bend. I mean, some stay straight and a few bend. He said, I hate to shake hands. I keep my hands in my pockets a lot.
There have been some years of frustration for him around here, too. And he's a tremendous player.
Well, you know, he's one of those guys that's in the same group as a Howie Long.
Yep.
He's kind of a player's player, man's man, that type of guy. Can play anywhere, up and down the line, inside, outside, in. Play to run, play to pass, block a kick, you know, play the whole game.
They're loving it. Just over 5 minutes left to play. Brock goes back to throw. Going deep for Brown. Frazier right there. Good play.
You know, I still say, and we talked about it before, this 46 defense, they commit 8 guys, that you have to have guys like Leslie Frazier. Frazier can go, watch him, Ron Brown, maybe the fastest guy in the game. He just mirrors him, just runs step for step, doesn't interfere, gets good position, sees the ball, is always where he's supposed to be.
Remember that interception we saw him make against Green Bay?
The greatest play by a defensive back I've ever seen in my life.
Second and 10, they give to Redden. Redden will have enough, I believe, for a Ram first down before Durson and Fensick bring him down. A pickup of 11. And they will move the sticks, I believe.
One thing, they popped that right through there between the line. You know, they thought maybe they would be able to get a little of that inside running. Of course, now I think it's too little, too late. So
4.5 minutes, I was just going to say.
Yeah, I was just saying, I think the Rams are this year like the Bears were a year ago against the 49ers. and the Bears were like the 49ers were last year.
Same record. To Dickerson. Otis Wilson. They're in a hurry. A loss of 2. Even in a great year last year, the 49ers, no team has ever recorded back-to-back shutouts in playoff history. That's some accomplishment. And again, don't want to say it too many times, but we still haven't seen anybody in that Bear end zone in the 5 games we've done.
There's Buddy Ryan. He's the engineer or the architect of this defense. And those players all love Buddy. He doesn't even call them by name, just calls them by number and nickname.
Here's Redden again. Otis Wilson and Wilber Marshall made the stop. They've both had tremendous years.
You know, Buddy calls his players like Wilson's, 55 and 50 and so on. And he just tells them this, 22, you do this. He said he started doing that. He said when he first came to the Bears, he didn't know the players. He had a 5th defensive back named Walter Scheid, who he would put in, on the nickel. And he said he forgot his name. He was calling him Bashnagel. He said he'd get third line and say, Bashnagel, Bashnagel. The Bashnagel, he was a receiver.
He's a wide receiver, right. Here's Brock on 3rd down. Chased by Kenton, down. And the ball is loose, and the Bears have it. This is Wilber Marshall with the ball. Marshall, if it's still alive, he's in the end zone. A sack by Dent, and a touchdown by Marshall. Defensive players have scored touchdowns this year. That was Wilber Marshall. Kevin Butler for the extra point. Steve Fuller holding. Like almost everything else, the extra point is perfect.
Richard Dent, he was standing up. You see him, and Tony Hunter just couldn't get out. He wasn't quick enough. He got his hands on him. Dent comes in, grabs Dieter Frank, just strips the ball right out of there. Watch him. He's outside in a stand-up position. See Hunter, 87, tries to turn out, and then Pankey tries to get out. They can't. He just strips, turns him. The ball comes flying out. Wilber Marshall picks it up, finishes it off.
What 2 playoff games Richard Dent has had. Marshall got away from Dickerson, and now he's picked up a convoy.
Richard Dent last week against the Giants played, I think, the most dominant game that I've ever seen a defensive lineman play.
Marshall and Wilson and the Bear fans. There's going to be a hot time tonight, no matter what the weather is. There's Walter Payton. It's been a long time coming. Brown. And a penalty marker is down, and Brown is off to the races. Cut down by Kevin Butler. That might help him make the All-Madden team, but they're going to bring everything back.
Hey, he had to get out there. He was in a foot race. The kicker was in a foot race with Ron Brown to the sideline. Kevin Butler got him. Of course, it didn't count anyway, but it looked good.
I have to believe Kevin Butler might lose that race most every time.
Yeah, but see, he's there. He's telling him how he did it. You know, these guys hardly ever make tackles. Watch, he said, I'm going over, I cut him off at the pass, I throw, and I just went for that knee. I took his knee out, and then he had to go. Wherever the knee goes, you have to go, he's saying. Yeah, they'll brag about that. You know, those guys can kick, make field goals, extra points, point. I was talking about that tackle they made.
So the Rams are backed up to their 10-yard line. And we have 2 minutes and 24 seconds before the real celebration starts. It's Redden on a draw play. Gooman was the other back that time. Dickerson's out.
I'll tell you, maybe one of the most underrated players on that defense is Wilber Marshall. You know, he's been all over the place.
Not to Mike Ditka.
I mean, he's the guy that has to cover the tight end man-to-man, make the plays, has the speed, makes the hits.
That's a 2-minute warning, and the Bears have it locked.
These guys came in here, wanted to buy us out. To wreck the place like the rest of the block. This bar's been in our family for 70 years, so we said, go ahead, build your building. But build it around us.
There's still a place where some things are not for sale, where beer is beer and the brand is Miller. Miller contains no additives or preservatives. Purity you can see, quality you can taste.
Who's got a truck that can do a ton of work? Toyota is who. Who's got the most payload of any small truck? Toyota is who. Who's got power? Who's got an electronically fuel-injected engine? And who's got a towing option that can handle 2.5 tons? Toyota is who. A 1986 Toyota 1-ton. And who else? Nobody.
Who could ask for anything more? Toyota.
Come on over here.
Will you know the future when you see it?
Wow. What is it?
Well, the future of long distance looks like GTE Sprint. When you select Sprint, you're getting the important services you'd expect from AT&T, plus savings. So take a look at Sprint and see tomorrow's long distance today.
When you've got Sprint, you've got the future on the line.
Next Saturday, Ohio State takes on Boston College. Then Pearl Washington leads highly ranked Syracuse against Louisville in a regional doubleheader on CBS Sports.
The unusual Bear quarterback, Jim McMahon. $24-0. Bears over the Rams. Brock to Redden again. Redden hammers outside to about the 30. Reggie Phillips on the stop. Most of the regular defenders are out of it. The game, I mean, the defense. Most of the crowd will be out of it. As I said, unusual.
He has a reaction for everything, doesn't he?
That's really his way of saying how happy he is.
That guy's a beaut, but I think of all the guys in the league now that I've met, we've spent time with, I think it'd be more fun coaching him than any of them.
Brock gets it outside to Bobby Duckworth. Duckworth is nailed out of bounds. Michael and Hampton and the rest getting a little rest. Ron Rivera made the stop. Clock stops with 1:14 left to play. Talking about the Bears going down to Champaign-Urbana to work out. Reason being they have a bubble down there, an enclosed field with artificial turf, like the Superdome.
They're starting their celebrations already. They got dances and songs, and these guys have every. You know, one thing I like about the band, they've had a lot of fun winning. I mean, they had records and they had songs and they had, you know, what do you call those things? Videos.
Right. The Super Bowl shuffle.
They've involved the fans. I mean, it's a whole big thing. Everyone's taking part in this deal.
Things are not so happy on the other side of the field. This game, the NFC Championship, worth $18,000 for both teams. Dan Hampton looking on. And, of course, when they go to the Super Bowl, the winner gets $36,000. So it's not without its rewards, other than the acceptance and adoration of the fans.
I'll tell you, but more than the money, though, Pat, the big thing's that ring.
The ball again. Let's say it was dead. Mike Ditka. Clock still running with 30 seconds on the clock. Nobody has left. I mean, the place is still absolutely full.
Well, they've been waiting too long for this to leave. I mean, you don't wait all those years, all this time, and then finally get it and then leave early. They're going to stay. I bet you the players won't even want to leave the field.
That's going to be it. Whoever they play is going to have their hands full. Executive producer, Harry O'Neill. Senior producer, Charles H. Milton III, who has become somewhat of an executive this week. Directed by Sandy Grossman. Another good job, as always. The rest of our crew, associate producer Joan Petrano, and everybody else. We had a tremendous crew all year long. And they've really made it a joy for us, John.
We did. This is our last one.
Right? We will be up at the Bear Base in Lake Forest in Hallis Hall next week for the All-Madden team. The Bears get back from Champaign-Urbana, and before they go to New Orleans. That'll be at 4:30. Sports Sunday, 4:30 Eastern Time. 24-0, the Bears. Now let's go to Brent Busberger.
And finally, a Super Bowl for the Chicago Bears. Walter Payton hugging Virginia and Ed McCaskey, and now linebacker Otis Wilson. Inside the Bear locker room with the owners of the Chicago Bears. She, of course, is the lovely daughter of the late George Halas, the founder, who was the coach of this team the last time they won a championship. And the fridge, number 72, William Perry. A team of destiny, according to Bud Grant, before this game started. And the former Minnesota Viking coach knew something there, because today they became the first playoff team in history to record back-to-back shutouts. First it was the Giants, and now it's the Rams. And our post-game activities will continue live from Soldier Field in Chicago.
Some of you are being asked to choose a long-distance phone company. If you don't choose, someone's going to choose for you. And you know how that could make you feel. So if AT&T's clear long-distance connections and full services are important to you, send in your ballot. AT&T Long Distance. For over 100 years, when you reached out, we were there. And you can keep it that way by making the choice yourself.
When you start something good, everyone wants a piece of it. Take light beer from Miller. Now there's lots of light beers out there saying they're less filling. Heck, that was the easy part. The hard part is brewing a light beer that tastes great. That's why Light's always brewed only with the finest ingredients. To let all that great beer taste come through for guys like you and me. The taste that's made light beer from Miller, America's favorite light beer.
Hey, I always thought it was easy opening cans.
For over 50 years, United Airlines has been a favorite of business flyers. Today, only United serves all 50 states and over 150 cities.
You're not just flying, you're flying the friendly skies.
The NFL Today post-game show is sponsored by Light Beer from Miller. Everything you've always wanted in a beer and less. Once again, here's Brent Musburger.
Welcome back to Soldier Field, everybody. Please excuse this little bit of former civic pride as a long-time suffering Chicagoan. But Bud Grant, you called it right. You said the Bears were a team of destiny, and they sure played like it today.
Well, they're on the crest, and they don't believe they can lose, and I don't think they believe they're going to lose down in New Orleans either. This is a team not unlike San Francisco last year. Everything going well for them.
Tony Dorsett, how did you view the game as it unfolded?
Well, I found it to be a very interesting football game. I thought the Rams would put some points on the scoreboard, but Brett, I'd like to say congratulations to Mike Dicken and Chicago Bears, and of course the class act of the National Football League, Walter Payton, for going to a Super Bowl.
All right, and Jimmy, we'll forgive you for picking the Los Angeles Rams.
McMahon over that, what was that quarterback's name from Canada?
Dieter Brock. He did not have the best of afternoon.
We said that was the biggest category, and it sure proved out to be it.
Well, Bud, let's take a look at some of the highlights. In the first half, there was only one touchdown in the game, and it was scored by Jim McMahon.
Well, here's, I think, shows the mobility of the quarterback, and I think this was supposed to be actually a little clip forward, but he saw the opening and followed the blockers in.
Now, Dieter Brock appeared to have something going here. Michael Young coming downfield, and Bud, was that pass interference?
Well, from our standpoint, it was. Obviously not from the vantage point on the field.
Now, here is Brock dropping back and hitting Eric Dickerson. But time ran out in the first half, and the Rams squandered a scoring opportunity with Coach John Robinson looking on. Now, Buddy Ryan predicted 3 fumbles. He was very close. Dickerson put it on the carpet twice in the game. How about the 4th down call, Bud, by Mike Ditka?
I think this was an excellent call, and they rolled out, got the first down, and then came right back with the same thing going the other way, and as John Madden said, we're in the post corner for the touchdown.
And it was Willie Gault who received that pass from McMahon, and the Bears were in complete command. And then Tony Dorsett, this is an example of how good this defense can play.
Like I said, Brent, they put a lot of immediate pressure on you. They do a lot of stunts with the people up front, the linebackers blitzing, and it paid off for them. They played a very fine game today defensively.
And Marshall takes it on into the end zone, and it's 24-0. And it seems so appropriate here in Chicago to have the snowflakes falling at the end of this particular game. Right. But this is the kind of game you always like to coach. You should have felt right at home. No dome here or anything.
This was great, and we're excited. And again, congratulations to Chicago. They've done a great job. Ditka has too. And it's only appropriate that it was snowing, and Marshall scored the final touchdown, a la the Chicago Bears.
All right, Bud, let's go inside the locker room, and here's Irv Cross. Irv?
Brent, we're getting ready for the trophy presentation. Of course, the winner of the National Football Conference receives the George S. Halas Trophy, and of course, we have the owners of the Bears, Mr. and Mrs. McCaskey here.
Are we on?
We're on. We're on to make the presentation.
Forgive me, I'm punchy. As I understand it, this is the George Halas Trophy. Virginia's here to present it to the owners. Virginia?
No, to the president. How heavy is that, Mark?
You have it?
First of all, I want to thank all the coaches, the Chicago Bear coaches, and the Chicago Bear players. I'd hate to think that I had to do this over in the other side of the locker room area. I'd also like to thank the Chicago Bear fans here in Soldier Field and in Chicago and everywhere for all the love and support that they've shown to us during this year and especially today. This trophy was established by the National League owners in March of 1984. And last year, the 49ers won it, but there wasn't a ceremony like this. The trophy wasn't ready for presentation. So this year, we have it right here in Chicago.
Well, Mrs. McCaskey, of course, Virginia McCaskey is George Halas's daughter. Congratulations to you, but you're going to make your presentation, of course, to the president of the Chicago Bears.
Yes, I am. I just want to mention first that a lot of people have said to me this week, or this year, isn't it too bad your dad wasn't here to see this? Well, I think he's been with us the whole season, and I think he's here with us now, and he'll be with us always. And it's a special honor and privilege for me to present this trophy to Ed McCaskey, the chairman of the board, to Michael McCaskey, president of the Bears, and to our coach of the year and every year, Mike Ditka.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Mike, I'm gonna go ahead and move over to your coach, Mike Ditka, who made a lot of critical decisions. Of course, for all, congratulations to you, Mike, and the Chicago Bears for, you know, this an outstanding season and a great victory today.
Well, we did it this way all year as a team, and boy, I say we played hard, and I got to give the Rams all the credit in the world. What a good football team, and what a great, well-coached team John did. We had a work cut out. We made some breaks early and held up.
Well, one break you made for yourself was a crucial play on 4th and 6. You went for it when everybody, you know, I wanted to know what your thinking was on it. You made the first down and eventually scored. Here's the play right here, 4th and 6, and then we ended up with a touchdown pass to Willie Gault. But
well, the only reason we went for that, Irv, is because I knew that a lot of people would question it. So we just decided to go for it.
Oh, well, it's easy to say that now that you won it, but what did go through your mind at the time?
We wouldn't have gained anything punting the football, really. You know, to punt the ball inside the 10-yard line would have been really a fluke, so we just figured that whether start them on the 20 or start them on the 35, that's all it was. So it was 15 yards gained, so we figured we'd go ahead and try to make it.
All right, Mike, congratulations to you, the Chicago Bears. And, you know, let's go back to Brent Musburger.
All right, Irv, thank you very much. And our post-game show will continue live from Soldier Field, sponsored by Miller Lite, in just a moment.
Yesterday, buying an IBM XT was a good business decision. But today, the Tandy 1200 from Radio Shack can give you the same power and performance for about half the price. The 1200 runs the same IBM XT compatible software, is backed by a company committed to service and support. And the Tandy 1200 costs about half as much. Tandy, clearly superior. In business for business. Only at Radio Shack Computer Centers.
Well, there's a Super Bowl for Walter Payton. Let's go inside. He's with Irv Cross.
Of course, one more step, one big step. And Walter, 11 tough years for you, Chicago. You have to be particularly pleased with the way things have gone.
I tell you, these guys, they rallied around themselves all year. They just believed in themselves, and they said, there's no way that we're going to be defied of getting to the Super Bowl this year. Because of the loss to San Francisco last year, everybody dedicated themselves to go further than the championship game, and this was it.
If there is a key to this football team, what is it? I mean, you have a bunch of characters here, but you seem to play darn good football.
I tell you, the key is that everybody on this team, I said earlier, they could be cast for the Wonderful, the Cuckoo's Nest, and get the part. Because all of them are, you know, we got a bunch of crazies here, but yet and still, they all blend together, and they have one common denominator, and that's to win.
Well, one of the things you've done year after year is come up with key plays, and there's a pass reception you made early in the ball game for a 19-yard gain, which kind of kept your offense going. You got a drive going when you really needed it. We'll get it up here in a second as soon as we get the videotape going. But, again, the Ram defense, we don't have the play, but the Ram defense seemed to really put a lot of pressure on you, Walter. I mean, you have a lot of respect for them.
They're coming up. What they're doing, they play the defense where they bend and bend and they don't break. Same way that Miami and Detroit plays. What we did, we took advantage of it because they were using the deep drops in the zones, and we were hitting the backs underneath, picking up 4 and 5 yards at a pop. That keeps the sticks moving, you keep the first downs moving, you keep the drive moving.
Everybody coming into this ball game made a big deal out of the weather, you know, because you guys play in this weather all the time. Was the weather a factor or not?
Not at all, and I don't think this team would have wanted it to be a factor because we feel that anybody that we play, regardless of what the conditions are, we're able to beat them, and we were glad that the weather was fine, so they couldn't use that as an excuse.
Well, the congratulations.
Thank you.
One more big one.
New Orleans.
All right, Brett.
All right, Irv, thank you very much. And we'll continue live with our post-game show from Soldier Field right after this message from Miller Lite.
On June 8, 1984, a tornado struck Barneveld, Wisconsin. About the only thing left standing was the water tower.
After the tornado, people said this is the end of a small town. Barneveld said not this small town.
Round here folks will always get right in when something gets out of hand.
Just thought we can make it, we can rebuild, we can come back, and we have.
A place where people have a sense of pride. That's what keeps them right here. Where you count on your own, you call it your home, and Miller's the beer. Miller's made the American way. Born and brewed in the USA. Just as proud as the people who are drinking it today.
Miller contains no additives or preservatives. Purity you can see, quality you can taste.
Some towns are held together with nails and wood, but this town's held together with a lot of pride and a lot of family.
Miller's made the American way.
Some people have always known where they were going. They take on more than anyone else. Then they take it farther and faster. Some days where they're going is all they can think about. But where they're going is home. Cavalier, dependable for people who know where they're going.
And now get 7.9% financing on new Chevy Cavaliers.
This year, Federal Express is going to Europe. And to help celebrate, we've invited everyone who's ever been in a Federal Express commercial.
Our customers, I am the public speaking. I would just like to say this certainly is a momentous occasion. I am certainly moved by it all. And it will particularly...
We're going to make sending a package to Europe as easy and reliable as it is here, with 2-day service in our own planes to London, Paris, Frankfurt, Zurich, Amsterdam, and Brussels. Federal Express to Europe. Why fool around with anyone else?
Well, the Bears are going to the Super Bowl, and that means middle linebacker Mike Singletary. He's with Irv. Let's go to them now.
Of course, Mike, you guys have done something no one has ever done in National Football League history. 2 shutouts back-to-back in a playoff series.
Well, I tell you what, the biggest thing about the shutouts is when you have a defensive coordinator like Buddy Ryan and you've got defensive personnel like we have and an offense that controls the ball, it's tough not to happen.
Well, your big challenge today was to stop Eric Dickerson, and there are a couple of plays where you guys just went head-to-head, and, of course, you won most of those battles.
Well, I hope to win most of those battles, so I should not be in there. But really, the guys up front were doing a great job, and I just had the opportunity to, I was moved in position to make the tackle.
Do you recall again the play situation there and the type of defense you were in on that particular play?
We were just in short yardage, and our guys did such a great job up front that Eric Dickerson had to bounce it out. And when he bounced it out, of course, I bounced out too, and we met.
Well, congratulations, Mike.
Well, thanks a lot.
Brett.
All right, Irv, thank you very much. And, of course, there's another side of the story, and that is Los Angeles Ram coach John Robinson. The Rams had a tremendous season, but they came up short here this afternoon. And, John, what's your feelings now about the Chicago Bears in this game?
Well, I thought they played a great game, certainly. Their defense overwhelmed us. There's nothing else to say about it. I thought Jim McMahon was absolutely great. 2 games in a row now. I think he's played great football. It was not a quarterback's day out there in terms of the weather, and yet he was the dominant offensive factor for them. We did well against their running game, and certainly, played good defense. They had 3 50-yard drives or less, but when they needed it, he made great football plays, and I don't know what to say about the defense other than it's just overwhelming.
John, there was one moment where there seemed to be confusion. What happened at the end of the first half there?
Well, we wanted to get one more play up. We would have liked to have thrown the ball on second down, come back with, stop the clock, either get the incompletion or the touchdown, hopefully. But we ran on second down and came back, and we thought we had time to throw the ball, hopefully in the end zone, and if not, take the time. I saw Dieter Brock trying to get the timeout with about 2 to 2.5 seconds, somewhere in there. The clock was at 2 when he had his hand up, but it didn't get down. That doesn't make sense to talk about whether you should have or shouldn't have. We made the error because the clock ran out, but certainly you have to congratulate the Bears for the job they did.
All right, John, and also congratulations to you and your staff. You did a fine job this year, too.
Thank you.
Quarterback Jim McMahon is standing by with Irv Cross. Back to the Bear locker room. Irv?
Well, Jim's in one piece, but I don't know. But barely. Look at this. What happened to your wrist?
I don't know. I think I fell on it wrong, and I got a little knot down here, but it shouldn't be a problem. It happened early in the game, and heck with it.
Well, early in the game, you also scampered in the end zone on a 16-yard run, and I guess you had a pass play set up. You couldn't find anybody, and in typical Jim McMahon fashion, you made something good out of a bad situation.
Well, we know they play a lot of deep zones. The linebackers drop deep, and they gave me an alley. I just took off, and Dennis Gentry here makes a hell of a block to let me in the end zone.
Yeah, it was a heck of a block, Jim. Sure was. Next week, everybody talked about the weather influencing this ball game. You guys play in this kind of weather all the time. Did you feel that the weather was a factor at all?
Well, I was very happy to see the clouds roll in early in the ball game. We thought it was going to be high 40s today, and the clouds started coming in, started snowing, and we knew it was our day. And the defense just played superb. I tell you, if they play like that in the Super Bowl, we won't lose.
Get this wrist healthy, will you? Congratulations.
All right, thanks.
Brett?
All right, Irv, thank you. And we'll continue live from Soldier Field with our NFL Today post-game show sponsored by Miller Lite in a moment.
Where I come from, folks stand proud and tall. You know they're always sincere. It's where your word is your word. A friend's a friend, and Miller's the beer. Miller's made the American way. Born and brewed in the USA.
Miller beer contains no additives, no preservatives.
Miller's made the American way.
Now there's a remarkable new telephone system that has the capacity to grow as a town grows, no matter how much it grows. And its lifespan is virtually limitless. Because, you see, it has the extraordinary ability to incorporate new technological advancements as they come about.
G.
No, GTE.
Well, it's a city in love with its football team, but what happened around Chicago on the streets while the game was going on in Soldier Field? Let's take a look and show you part of the activity now, the street scenes of Chicago. All over, the city was decked out for this afternoon's game, but while it was in progress, fashionable Michigan Avenue, usually a boulevard of strollers, was all but deserted. Now, one Chicagoan along Lakeshore Drive was trying to make a buck, but he was still staying very close to the game with his transistor radio. Meanwhile, this fan in Marshall Fields obviously can't get enough of his favorite football team. But he didn't have much company because on this day, there weren't many shoppers in the stores along the city's magnificent mile where all those fashionable shops are. One place that was crowded, this favorite watering hole of Bear fans, some of whom were dressed like their hero. The other big attraction in Chicago was supposed to be the boat show in McCormick Place. But when you're competing with the Bears, it's no contest. And meanwhile, even the fish at the aquarium got to see the game, but of course their minds are on the Dolphins. Even art lovers skipped going to the museum because in Chicago today, the whole show is in the park that George Halas remodeled. The most bizarre viewers were out on Lake Michigan doing a little ice fishing like Bud Grant would love to do, but they had their portable television set. Let's go upstairs now to Pat Summerall and John Madden. Pat?
Okay, Brent, John and I were just talking. Really, when you get back and look at the statistical story and all that sort of thing, you'll see what a great job the defense did. But the key to the points on the scoreboard was McMahon's mobility.
That's what I think. I think Jim McMahon, and John Robinson said how surprised he was or how well McMahon did, but his running, not only running with the ball as we see here. Remember the first touchdown? McMahon comes back. Anytime that he finds a gap, you see, he sees it right there. He says, okay, I'm going. Gentry, number 29, says, okay, follow me. I'll block this guy. You're in for a touchdown. Now that run, but not only that type of running, but running and throwing the ball. Let's watch the big play on fourth down. Now, this was a big thing. Walter Payton comes in motion across here. He's going to go down. McMahon takes the ball, rolls out to his right, hits Walter right here on 4th down for the first down. Watch him. He comes out here. There goes Payton. He goes out in motion, becomes the outside man. Now McMahon is going to sprint out. He gets outside the containment. Now he has the option where he could have run for the first down or throw it to Payton. He picks out Walter Payton and gets the first down. So he was really the threat with that type of run. And then, of course, the touchdown now, he rolled right now. This time he's rolling left. He finds Willie Gault in the end zone.
And what a great pass that was. Finished off by quite a celebration by Willie Gault. Jim McMahon. And as someone said in the locker room a minute ago, if they play like they did today, defensively and offensively, no matter who they play in the Super Bowl, it's going to be tough to beat them. Now let's go back to Brent Musburger.
All right, Pat, thank you. Jimmy, they're about ready to start in the Orange Bowl. Miami or New England?
It's Miami, Brent, because I think New England played their game against those Raiders last week.
All right, well, I know that Bud and Tony helped live the Super Bowl shuffle that is going on here in Chicago. We'd like to show you an updated version.
We are the Bears, shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone. We're not here to start no trouble, we're just here to do the Super Bowl show.
I'm the punky QB known as McMahon. When I hit the turf, I got no plan. I just throw my body all over the field. I can't dance, but I can throw the field. I motivate the cats, I like to tease. I play so cool, I aim to please. That's why you all got here on the double.
I wouldn't say I was a student of the game, no.
A mama's boy, Otis, one of the kind. The ladies are looking for my body and my mind. I'm slick on the floor as I can be, but ain't no something gonna get past me. Some guys are jealous of my style and class. That's why some end up on that. I didn't come here looking for trouble. I'm just getting down to the Super Bowl show. We are the Bears, shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone.
If they ever convert the football into a hamburger or Coke, we'll beat anybody.
Well, they call me Sweetness, and I like to dance. Running the ball is like Mickey Mouse Nance. We had the goal since training camp to give Chicago a Super Bowl champ.
You're looking at the Frizz, I'm the rookie. I may be lost, but I'm no dumb cookie. You seen me hit. Hurry in motion, all the Bears players right there. I can dance, you will see. The others, they all learn from me.
I named him Biscuit, because when he showed up here, he was just a biscuit away from 350.
We are the Bears, shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone. We're not here to start no trouble, we're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle. We are the Bears, shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone.
You win and you have fun and you shuffle off to New Orleans and you play in a Super Bowl. That's the way it should be. I'd like to thank Bud Grant, Tony Dorsett for being with us here this afternoon. We've had a great time. We hope you've enjoyed it too. This wraps up our coverage of the National Football League on CBS. I'm Brent Musburger. So long, everybody.